Good evening. Welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. We are playing Delta Green, and Neil is going to be our handler this evening, so I'll hand it right over to him.
Thank you. This is an adaptation, really, of a scenario called Panacea, which appears in the Chaosium volume, Peterson's Abominations, written by Sandy Peterson with Mike Mason. As I say, it's not a straight-up running of it. It's a sort of retelling of it using Delta Green, since it was originally written for Call of Cthulhu 7th Ed. So I think we're ready to just jump straight in. Are we, gentlemen?
Yep.
Ready.
Aye.
Okay. 4th of June, 2018. Each of you receives a missive via whatever your chosen route for communicating with the conspiracy is, be it a burner cell phone, a postcard, an advert in a newspaper, whatever prearrangement you have. And it consists of the following: a string of digits 661002203 / TIE, TIE / terabyte. And you know that you can translate this. The first two letters are the date, 6th of June, i.e. 2 days' time. The next set of letters is a time, in this case 10 a.m., and then a zip code, 02203. And when you stick this into Google, this turns out to be the code for the John F. Kennedy Federal Building, 15 Sudbury Street, Boston, Massachusetts. TIE refers to the identifier, how you will identify your handler, in this case, presumably a green tie he will be wearing. And terabyte is the operation name.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
So, the 6th of June, Massachusetts, early summer, slightly too hot for comfort on the streets. The John F. Kennedy Federal Building consists of two 26-story concrete towers connected by a glass foyer at ground floor. And as each of you make your way in, the kind of heat of the Massachusetts early morning is replaced by the cool blast of air conditioning. And being a federal building, it houses multiple federal agencies. There are various people standing in front of various desks, sort of trying to get appointments with various federal agencies. Glancing around, all of you, your eyes fall on a thin man in his late 40s, early 50s, with auburn hair fading to a blondish white at the temples. He's dressed in a nondescript dark grey suit, has got some kind of federal ID on a lanyard, although he's carefully turned it so you can't see what it says. But he is wearing a bright emerald green tie and has a green handkerchief tucked in his pocket. He seems to be lurking off to the right-hand side of the foyer.
I suppose approach him.
Okay.
Also,
Sorry, go ahead.
so I was also going to be wearing my green tie, so he's going to know that we're all comrades.
Okay.
Or St. Patty's Day, one of the two.
Anybody who's got alertness or stealth at 30% or greater, let me know, please.
Much greater in both.
Yeah, me too.
I'm looking.
Nope.
Yes.
Okay, so those of you who have it, accustomed as you are to kind of casting your eye around for security cameras, you notice that he's managed to, this chap has managed to pick a dead spot where the cameras can't actually capture him. He's standing right underneath one. So you can't, your meeting with him cannot be seen by security cameras. Each of you will take a moment, just a brief description as you approach him in the foyer. I'll just go from left to right. So Rob, we'll start with you, please. Just a brief description.
Yeah, well, Agent Tarrant is a very kind of nondescript kind of person. He's just in a regular suit and tie, bit of a grey man, shall we say. Even hard to kind of guess that he's military in the way in his mannerisms, and but is sharp as a blade, but just gives off the impression of a bit of a no mark, shall we say, and that he likes to blend in, so he's pretending to be pretty unassuming.
Okay, great. Ian.
So Agent Tom is about 5'11", about 170 pounds, brown hair, currently wearing sunglasses, very much as he appears in the character image, which I have on the screen currently. He's also pretty, relatively nondescript, relatively unassuming at the moment. With his kind of suit on, he blends in with a lot of other people coming and going from the building as well. But he does walk with a kind of an air of physical confidence anyway. He somebody who knows how to handle himself and is in perfect control of his own body.
Okay, great. Next we'll have John.
Agent Troy, medium height, medium weight, medium build, dirty blonde hair, has a casual look to him, and wears glasses, and he just glides up. He's fairly non-distinguishable, but not that forgettable, I guess. So he's right down the middle, and he makes his way in casually.
Okay, great. And finally, Merritt.
Agent Tori, he is about 6 foot tall, slim, but he moves very gracefully. And he is actually quite a good-looking man with a very well-tailored suit. A piercing gaze, like he's reading everything about you.
All right. So the four of you who have never worked together, don't know each other from Adam, assemble next to this man in the green tie. He makes no attempt to communicate with you at all. He just stands and waits. He evidently knows that he's waiting for four people, and since he's standing off in the corner of the foyer, there's no reason for anybody to come up to him except for you who are looking for him. So once he's assembled his little chickadees, he takes a little swipe card out of his pocket and turns around to a small door behind him, off to the right on this bank of elevators, swipes the door open, and then holds it open and nods his head for the four of you to go through. And it leads into a small stairwell painted a sort of slightly limey green, pale institutional paint on over the top of cinder blocks, with an aluminium staircase winding up and up, and with a big sign on the those glow in the dark signs, fire escape down, etc. Once the four of you are through, this man follows you, lets the door shut behind him, pushes past you and bounds up the stairs. He's quite spry. He bounds up the stairs two at a time. Those of you who are physically fit have no trouble keeping up with him. Those of you who are marginally less so perhaps might be puffing by the time you all get up to the 6th floor.
Yeah, definitely. When I get up there, I'll pull out a handkerchief and dab the sweat off my brow.
It's no problem for me. I'm right behind him.
Okay. He uses
No issues.
Yeah. He pushes the door open, and you come out into a corridor, and in front of you is a large wall made of glass on which is acid etched the seal and the identifying sign for the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. And he walks straight across the corridor, pushes open the glass door, assuming you're all going to follow him.
Of course.
And the front office is there's about maybe half a dozen men, ranging from very young men up to obviously Vietnam veterans, whiskered Vietnam veterans. One or two of them you notice have prosthetic limbs, obviously veterans waiting for some kind of appointment or other. He walks past them, doesn't even look at them, just walks straight past.
Yeah, follow suit.
And he pushes another door open, leading into a long corridor. and walks down there. It's lined with photographs of the directors of the Veterans Affairs Bureau. Brigadier General Frank T. Hines looks out onto the corridor from a black and white picture from his time as head of the agency, and down past a whole series of doors until he stops outside a door labelled VA 611, which he opens with the same swipe card and ushers you in. Can everybody make me everybody with alertness 30% or better? So same people, I presume, as last time.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, easily.
Two things. Glancing back down the corridor, you can see there's a camera at the head of the corridor facing straight down it. It's blinking red. It's not on. It's not working. It's not recording.
Okay.
Secondly, the door that you walk through is soundproofed.
Excellent.
And inside room VA 611, fairly typical federal meeting room. Fluorescent lights, expanded polystyrene tiles on the ceiling, white plastic blinds over the window. There's a large fake maple table standing in the middle, surrounded by chairs. On the far wall, you can see a whiteboard on which you can dimly see some sort of calculations or other have been written in marker pen and then rubbed out. And on the table is a laptop attached to a screen projector and a slim, unmarked cardboard folder. Your handler indicates the chairs.
So presuming that the table or the chair with the laptop is his, I will sit on the chair to its right hand.
Okay.
I'll take it.
I'll sit across from him and pull out a notebook and a small pen.
The other two gentlemen just take a seat wherever, yeah?
Yep.
Indeed,
Yep.
indeed. Agent Troy waits till everybody else is seated and then sits.
Okay. The man comes to the head of the table. He still hasn't told you his agent designation or anything. He hasn't said a word. He looks down at whoever's near the light switch, which is probably, let's think, not going to be you, Tom. It's probably going to be, in fact, as soon as he sees you take a notepad and pen out, Tori, he kind of gives you a glare and flicks his head towards the lights, indicating for you to turn them off.
Nod and give it a switch.
Okay. And you take your seat in sort of semi-darkness as the blinds are drawn. And the five of you sit there uncomfortably for 3 or 4 seconds before this man sits down at his end of the table, reaches forward and taps a key on the laptop. And as soon as he does, the room just starts to sort of thunder.
Right.
On the whiteboard is being projected a film. And the soundtrack to the film, and for a second or two, all of you sit there going, "What the fuck?" It's actually Marilyn Manson's Tourniquet being played extremely loudly, and you're looking at 4 separate camera images edited onto one screen, and it's clear that it's footage from the inside of a Humvee. The music is being played on the Humvee stereo very loudly, but underneath it, you can dimly hear American accents, talking, laughing, swearing. And there's underneath each camera, so there's 4 cameras, each identified as a head camera for one of 4 men. First camera is Ortega, D. Second camera, Robbins, M. Third camera, Penkowski, A. Fourth camera, Morton, W. It's 0814 on the 17th of November, 2004. There's a satellite grid reference, lat 33.3503, longitude 43.7839. Does anybody have geography over 60%?
Oof, hold on.
Nope.
Geography.
No.
Well, this starts playing. I'm just going to
It'd be
write.
probably science, geography.
Yeah, no.
Well, this starts playing. Let's just write random notes about what's the word I wanted to say here? A veteran program for employment for vets.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with what we're watching, but just in case.
Anybody here can claim honestly that their character has had military experience in the Middle East?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Iraq,
Probably.
Syria, and Egypt.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
Give me all intelligence checks then, please.
All right. Oh, no. I rolled a 97.
I rolled a 4.
Okay.
74 from me.
I got a 51 out of a 60.
Okay.
Wow, we all have Middle East military experience. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Afghanistan.
Okay. It's in Iraq, and for those of you who passed the role and served in Iraq will know it's Fallujah.
Oh, great.
Wonderful.
And so you've got these 4 cameras identified with these 4 folks. Anybody got military science, please?
I do.
Yes, military science land.
Yep.
I have the same.
Yep. Go ahead. Give me a check.
Yeah, success. 46 under 60.
No,
Oh,
I rolled a
yeah.
90.
I have it too. Which I would actually have failed by 1, I'm afraid.
Okay. Those of you who passed recognize the kind of context immediately. It's a lightly armored Marine reconnaissance Humvee. And these 4 men are obviously part of a kind of recon combat patrol in Fallujah in 2004, which was the date of the first battle of Fallujah. Now, the film's been edited so that every now and then one camera will kind of come to the fore and the other 3 will fade into the background. And it's quite clear that whoever put the film together was most interested in the driver, or Traeger D. There's lots of footage of him from the perspective of the others in the vehicle. And you can see he's got his sleeves are rolled up, and you can see that on his left inner forearm he has a tattoo of a snake eating its own tail. Human or alertness, 50% or better. Anybody?
Sorry, human int, did you say?
Human or alertness, 50%.
I have alertness of 80.
I have
Yeah.
a 60 for human.
I've got both over, so.
Okay. He's wearing his watch on his right wrist, which those of you who have sufficient stats will tell you that he was left-handed, almost certainly. And so this footage goes on for a minute or 2. There's talking and laughing and swearing and, talking about these fucking ragheads, etc., etc. And this goes on for maybe a minute. And then the screen goes blank. Silence. And one by one, the cameras go out to a kind of grey static. No sound. This goes on for an uncomfortable 5 or 6 seconds. And then as suddenly as it stopped, it starts again. And it's immediately clear that something disastrous has happened. The footage is from the camera of Pankowski A, who now appears to be trapped upside down in the Humvee. His camera pans around to where the driver's side was to reveal that the whole side of the Humvee has been staved in. Glass is shattered, driver's side door is missing. Blood appears to be liberally painted over the entirety of the inside of the vehicle. Pankowski's camera looks down next to the back seat next to him, which is now the roof, obviously, and there sits Morton W, slumped on the roof. Most of the left side of his face and cranium missing. Each of you looks around the table at the other. The man who's your handler is staring impassively at the screen. How are the rest of you reacting to this sight?
Well, I am adapted to violence, so I'm pretty passive as well. I'm just curious from my experience stuff, does it look evident that it was probably a roadside bomb, or does the damage and stuff look to not support that?
It's the driver's side. The left side appears to have been staved in. It's entirely consistent with the roadside IED. Yes.
Okay. So
I've
yeah.
seen
Big
yeah.
one.
I'm not too affected by it. I've seen a lot of this in analyzing photos and whatnot through in my career.
Mhm.
Still not completely hardened to it, but
Yeah, I don't really say much. I don't react to it either.
Agent Troy is a trained combat paramedic, so he's completely non-phased.
Okay. The edit moves to the camera of Robbins M, who was sitting in the front of the vehicle next to Ortega, the driver. He's outside. He's scrambling through the dust. There's a pool of black smoke rolling over the top of the whole roadside. He's kind of running towards the front of the vehicle, swearing under his breath. And the whole time he's kind of running, there's this sort of strange, high-pitched whine in the background. The Robbins footage shows him cresting the front of the upturned Humvee. And a few meters in front of it, Ortega is sitting up in the sand. Around him, the ground is turning a strange, deep reddish brown as the blood soaks into the sand. And the whining you can now see is coming from Ortega himself, who's staring down at his left side. His left leg ends in a mass of blood and flesh that looks like ground beef chuck. There's no sign of his combat boot. Robbins' camera glances around, obviously scanning the scene for enemies. And as he sort of looks at a sort of object on the ground, the footage stops. And all of you sort of sit there puzzling over this. What is this strange thing? Laying in the dust, a pink and black object. Ortega's tattooed left arm, severed just above the elbow, lies in the dirt.
Do I recognize the tattoo?
Yeah.
Is it like a unit tattoo?
No, it's a Ouroboros, the snake consuming its own tail.
Yeah, the tattoo we saw earlier. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Your hander leans forward, taps the button on the laptop. The footage disappears to be replaced by a Veterans Affairs series of documents, basically laying out Private First Class Dean Ortega, severely wounded in a roadside bomb during the Battle of Fallujah, 8:20 a.m. on the 17th of November, 2004. He was evacuated immediately, taken aboard the US medical ship Comfort, where he had surgery to stabilize his wounds before being flown back to the US. He was at Walter Reed from November 2004 until September 2005, when he was honorably discharged. His records indicate that Ortega had been under the care of the VA Bureau here in Boston for almost 10 years. He appeared to be a model outpatient, although he visited the Bureau relatively infrequently because most of his interactions were online. Most of his stuff is handled online now. Although he was still a patient at Massachusetts General Hospital, outpatients every 2 months for pain relief associated with his amputated left foot and left arm. Once you've had a chance to read through all of this is just on his electronic file, which your handler is just calling up.
Do I notice anything odd in any of the paperwork?
No, it seems entirely standard. And if it's all genuine as it appears to be, it establishes cast iron lead from the moment you saw you didn't see it, but from the moment the bomb went off to the moment he was discharged from the Marines. There's no possibility here of anything other than what seems to have happened actually happening. He really was in the Marines. He really was in an explosion. He really did lose his left arm and his left foot.
Okay.
All documented. Agent waits for you. Those of you who are sort of taking notes or committing it to memory, gives you enough time to do that. Then he reaches forward and taps the laptop again, and the whiteboard screen is revealed. And this time It's a very strange, different image. It's a very, very high quality digital black and white image from a security camera. It's time-stamped at 3:17 in the morning on the 22nd of February 2018, i.e. about 4 months ago. It's showing the parking lot of a strip joint called Knockouts on I-93, just outside Boston. A tan Ford Sierra pulls in. Clambering out of it is a man, thin man, can't see his face, has a slight limp on his left leg. Footage cuts to the interior of Knockouts, a couple of bored-looking young women bump and grind half-heartedly on a small stage. The limping figure from the parking lot comes into shot, sits at a bar stool right next to the stage and kind of leans forward over the stage, and the girls sort of edge away from him. This is all, there's no sound to any of this, it's all silent, just images.
Does the man have a left arm?
He does, yes, but he appears to be wearing heavy mittens over both arms.
Interesting.
After a minute or so, the seated figure suddenly jumps up and tries to run onto the stage, and immediately two large men, evidently bouncers, come running into shot and try and restrain him. He drops them both, one with a punch to the throat, the other with a kick to the testicles.
Does he punch him with his right or left hand?
Left hand. Then cuts to security footage, obviously of a camera mounted above a door in the strip club. You see the girls running in, slamming the door afterwards. Seconds later, the limping man rushes up to the door and starts pounding and kicking on it, beating it ferociously, even at one point, you think, trying to bite his way through the door. Anybody got medicine, 25% or more?
Yes.
In your opinion, there is no way the man who is doing that has any prosthetic limbs. The sheer violence that he's using against this solid security door prohibits the idea that he's got any sort of prosthetics or artificial limbs.
It appears that this may not be the same individual because he has no prosthetic limbs. He could not do what he's doing with artificial limbs.
I'm kind of startled for a moment because nobody has spoken since we walked into this room. In fact, nobody has spoken since we gathered in the lobby.
Exactly. I was thinking the same.
So,
Agent Troy notices that you noticed and that you were momentarily disquieted, and he eyeballs you.
As this half conversation goes on, the footage freezes. The limping man has looked up at the security camera above the door, is staring right at it, and the handler taps a few keystrokes out, and up next to it is Dean Ortega's official Marine ID picture. It's quite clearly the same man.
Wow.
Post care seems to be very good these days.
Well, I can clearly see that the cosmetic appearance is similar, but he's missing limbs, and this individual is not. So perhaps it's a twin or someone with some clever disguise.
Are you making the point out loud?
Absolutely.
Okay. The handler taps the button and the screen goes blank. So the whole room is just lit by the projector onto the whiteboard. So everything's kind of half in shadow and half very bright. And for the first time, he speaks. Dean Ortega had no siblings.
And your point?
Point is, Dean Ortega was an interesting man. But you needn't concern yourself with him. In fact, I'm giving you all orders right now, gentlemen. You are not, repeat, not to look into Dean Ortega.
So why show us the footage?
That matter has been taken care of. We're more interested in something that some items were found in his apartment. And with that, he opens the little manila folder of his desk on the desktop and slides across 2 or 3 pieces of paper, which I will put in the Facebook chat for you now. Ooh, not that way. Okay.
Why would Ortega be biting at the door? I ask John's character, as he appeared to have medical knowledge. Any idea?
I'm not convinced it's Ortega, but why an individual would bite at a door? There's a number of syndromes that'll do that. He just might be old school batshit crazy. Classic angel
or
dust.
under
It could
the
be
influence
anything.
of drugs.
Exactly. Angel dust will do weird shit to you.
And what's that stuff that's all the rage in the South now? Flacca.
Hmm.
All right, gentlemen. Roll the
So by simple extrapolation, we're supposed to assume that he regenerated his missing limbs and then went batshit crazy.
Again, is this out loud?
Of course.
We don't know. That's why you're here.
Well, you have an individual's missing limbs, then you show me an individual beating on a door and biting a door with limbs, and now we have something that says gene therapy cures for repairing genetic failures and wounds. So
With
clearly,
certain side effects.
exactly. So we're going to be checking into ZyMedBio.
Indeed.
Are we doing it as is, or do we have some sort of cover ID to go in with?
We don't anticipate you needing any cover identification. Although, if you insist, I might be able to locate some federal identification, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. For your information, gentlemen, we have had some of the finest computer scientists in this country attempting to access ZyMedBio's servers. They have completely failed. They appear to have either a bona fide genius writing their security software or next level AI preventing us from hacking. This is why you gentlemen are here. This is going to be a question of human intelligence. This doesn't get solved by a keyboard.
Do you want us to try to plant a transmitter within the servers so you can break into it?
It might come to that, but in the first instance, you might like to take a look at this gentleman. And he slides over a dossier. Gentlemen, meet Dr. James Conity, chairman of the board of ZyMedBio.
See.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. And we are not supposed to look into Ortega. Any reason for that?
He's not your concern, Agent.
Seems relevant, but as you will.
My suggestion surveil Conity. Ease your way into this.
What was that name again?
Conity, Dr. James Conity, Conity.
He's on the dossier that we have here.
Ah, gotcha.
Never been marital status unmarried. Does that mean has he ever been married? Do we know?
He is not, to our knowledge, no. No children.
But never been married.
No.
It's unusual. Slightly.
Might be married to his science.
Yeah. Given a man of his age and the year of day, the year he was born in, just seems unusual. Never to have been married.
He might like boys. Couldn't get married when he was younger legally.
Possible. What else do we know about him? Is this it?
Do you need any more, Agent?
Well, yeah.
There should be plenty, I think.
Yeah, and any and all other information would be valuable.
Yeah, I'm particularly interested in his personal life.
Obviously.
Gentlemen, I'm not here to hold your hand. This is not your first rodeo. This is not your first opera, now is it?
Do you have access to his medical records?
I'm sure you do, Agent, I say, and I'll stand up.
Shouldn't be too difficult to get.
So, find out all you can about ZyMedBio. What's it doing? And more to the point, should we stop it? If you find it necessary to intercede, you know the rules. Identify the threat, contain the threat, no loose ends.
Understood.
I am available if required, but don't make a habit of dragging me into this. You understand?
Aye.
Understood.
Very well, gentlemen. He looks at his watch. Operation Terabyte officially begins at 12:06, 6th June 2018. Good luck.
Yep. I will turn around and leave the room.
Click the pen closed, put it inside the notebook and slide the whole thing over to him, and then leave the room.
I'll just get up, smile, and leave.
He doesn't return the smile.
No, I'm being sardonic. So yeah, I would assume,
Does the agent leave, or is it just him and Troy in the room now?
There appears to be just the two of you. He's sort of he's already packing away various bits of paper and closing the laptop down. He turns and looks at you. Something I can help you with?
I don't know. Maybe. He stands up and kind of sidesteps, crabbing on the way out. Maybe not. And he leaves.
Okay, so the four of you assemble, presumably outside the federal building,
Yes.
away from cameras and FBI agents.
Yeah, I would have probably already, since I went out first, I would have looked for a suitable location out away from prying eyes. And I'll be waiting there holding the, I actually never said, but I would have picked up the envelope if I could have with the information we were given.
Sure, yep.
The dossier and the two bits of paperwork taken from his home.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Well, looks like we're going to be taking a trip to. Sorry, looking for the proper
Boston.
Medford. Is that in Boston, Medford? Or Medford?
It's a couple of hours north.
Okay,
Okay.
Medford, Massachusetts. Right. You, I look up at John's character. So yeah, I take it you're a doctor.
A corpsman. close enough for our needs.
So I guess you would want to try to see if you can find, if you can find any medical records on Mr. Carnati.
I was curious, actually, just to one aspect. Did he have something critically wrong with him at some point? Cancer, lost an arm, poked out his eye, something, and now he no longer has that issue.
Seems like a reasonable line of inquiry to me. I'm Agent Tom. I'll offer my hand, firm handshake. I special operations and wet works. If you need it opened, I can probably do that.
Agent Troy, I can cut a bitch and sew him back up.
I'll look at the other two.
Agent Tori, specialize in intelligence.
Agent Tarrant. Bit of everything.
Right. Well, I have. Oh yeah, hold on a second. Look at this information on Carnati himself. Did we have an address there?
We do.
We do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I check the web and just see what we can find on Conity?
On Conity,
General.
nothing that disagrees with the information you have. High flying geneticist, some secret government work with DARPA, has been with ZyMedBio since 2014, which is apparently from the various kind of press releases and things like that you find was when the company was founded.
Okay.
Anything about his personal life at all?
No, very, very little. It depends on how long you want to spend doing it. Basically, I'm assuming that you guys are essentially have gone off to an unbusy diner or a public park or something where you can't be overheard to
For pie, yes.
So it depends on how long you want to sit there looking. Certainly.
Yeah, well, I'll just keep looking while we're chatting away.
Did you say 2 hours north to Medford?
Couple hours, yeah.
Yeah.
That's some serious city traffic because it's only about 4 to 5 kilometers.
Oh, right, there you go. Proves that my scaling of the map, the scaling of reading Google Maps.
I'm guessing there may be another Medford. The Medford I'm looking at, though, looks to be a suburb of Boston.
It's in the middle of a forest, yeah?
I wouldn't say in the middle of a forest, but it's right by the Middlesex Fells Reservation.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yes.
And Cambridge is, Cambridge is where Harvard University is, et cetera. So that's another suburb, basically, of Boston.
Yeah. So there you go. Yes, no, it's not far at all.
Okay.
It's all sort of,
No worries. I'm not going to jump in a car right away and start driving then. So we're not in as much of a hurry. Since we're, for point of scale, everything's kind of in the Boston area, although.
Indeed. Yes.
Okay.
While you're searching on your little Google there, is that a masked server, a masked device you got? Why don't you try looking on the dark web?
Of course it is. Oh, well, I don't have any of that. Don't you need a special browser for that or something? It's not exactly my area of expertise.
I'll just kind of grin at Troy and start tapping away at my phone. See if I can find anything on the dark web.
What are you looking for?
He points over to him and
anything to do with basically just any hits on him or on ZyMed.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
and
rumors and such.
ZyMedBio.
Mm-hmm.
ZyMedBio has a sort of quite a public, weirdly public presence. Incorporated in Delaware in February 2014. It's listed as a company established to carry to market biomedical discoveries that are the intellectual property of ZyMedPro, Mumbai, India.
So yeah, okay. Mumbai.
Its sole shareholders are Jefferson and Ulysses Anak. A-N-A-K.
Jefferson and Ulysses. Look up stuff on them.
Originally,
Or start like a search warrant for them at least.
yep. Okay. They appear to they pop up in several sort of puff pieces and sort of occasional pieces in the financial press. They appear to be originally from Kyrgyzstan, but at some point along the way have acquired American citizenship. How exactly, you don't know yet.
Those would be some interesting records to check. All right. Relay all this over to the other gentleman.
Okay. Looking into Conity, Agent Tarrant, doesn't seem to be anything out of sorts. As I say, he appears to have been a genuinely high-flying academic who went into the sort of the early phases of genetic discovery and genetic medicine, and it almost sort of looks like his appointment in 2014 to be COB of ZyMed is a sort of almost like a semi-retirement position.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe we should. Yeah. I'd be. Could always. Maybe some interrogation would be appropriate.
I dropped one of my dice and now I can't find it, and I'm sure I'll find it like in the next day or two when I step in it and I'm not looking. That's going to be fun.
Do we know where this chap lives, or can we find out?
We have his address.
Yep.
Oh yeah, cool.
Cambridge.
If he is in a semi-retirement position, he may not be entirely happy with not having as much control over everything as he once did.
Semi-retirement from medical facilities like that means that he's probably just relegated to being a consultant, a paid consultant.
Right. Even though he's given like the paper title of chairman of the board, you might be a little disgruntled. That might be an angle we can use to get at him.
I know one way to find out. I crack my knuckles.
Okay, so Agent Torrey, do you have either bureaucracy or computer science at 60% or greater?
Ooh, give me a moment here. Now, which ones are we asking for?
Either.
SIGINT, you said?
Bureaucracy or...
oh, yeah. Bureaucracy, yeah. I got it, 80.
Okay.
Ooh.
So while you're while the four of you are sort of sitting around discussing Conity, you get a little ping from the sort of search engine you'd started running on the Anak brothers.
Okay.
This is from the dark web. It's a leak of a State Department memorandum granting U.S. citizenship to Jefferson and Ulysses Anak in October 2001 for reasons of national security. The memorandum is signed by Colonel Martin Jakes, United States Air Force.
Oh. Interesting. So apparently, the owners of ZyMed got citizenship due to national security. Martin Jakes, U.S. Air Force, you said?
Yes.
U.S. Air Force. I'm going to start looking into him.
Not much. He retired from the military in late 2003. He took a consultancy job at a company called March Technologies, which is a very well-known kind of military industrial complex.
March. Tech, and do they have ties to ZyMed?
Not that you might want to spend a little time finding that out. You can't do so immediately.
All right, set up another search engine for that.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else looking for anything particular?
I'm not really so good at search engines and things of that sort. So if I presume we all have our own modes of transportation. We all have our own mobile phones. I suppose we ought to, at this point in time, decide what phones we're going to use to communicate with one another.
Definitely not using this one. We gotta get some burners for that.
Right.
Several.
Agent Troy holds up his phone and says, "I've already got everybody's information." Haha, just kidding. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, so I would get us set up. But anyway, so we definitely be able to contact each other over the phone if we need to, and we set up like a secure kind of messaging program, something kind of like a WhatsApp, but something that probably, I assume they'd have something like that that they use on intelligence missions and things of that sort that are a little bit more secure.
Yes, but don't forget, you probably don't want to use official software.
No. But I mean,
WhatsApp would be perfectly good enough. It's encrypted end to end. You can set it up on 4 burners, and away you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, we'll set up a WhatsApp communication then, and so that provides text and voice.
Yep.
And I'll say, all right, I'm going to go to Cambridge and check out what Mr. Kanati's security arrangements are like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do as well. Mind if I pop along?
I look him up and down, trying to assess him. Well, you're pretty nondescript, you said, yeah. What's your experience with reconnaissance?
Oh, did a little bit in the service.
Which service?
The army.
Oh, works for me. Sure.
Yeah.
Right along.
So,
I was Army as well.
Oh, I was Army as well. I'm going to go and set up a secure location and start doing some like in-depth hard digging on the Anak brothers, Martin Jake, Kanati, March Tech, ZyMed.
Yep.
Sounds good, Tori.
Okay.
Agent Troy's going to use his contacts to. He's going to leave there and use his contacts to see if he can get some medical. For Kanati.
And we can all reconvene once we've found some things out.
Also, yeah, definitely. Also, things like financial records for all of them. Look for anything odd. All that's good stuff.
Okay.
So if you're setting up like a lab and base of operations or something like that for a story, make sure to get at least 3 beds.
Of course.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you can sort of, you certainly, Tori, you're well enough experienced to know that you just go to a local motel, pay cash, and log into their internet.
Exactly.
So you can just sort of, drive.
Set up like several proxy servers and whatnot.
Yep. So you go out to a, just some roadside motel.
It's the Fall-In Roadside Motel.
Yep, with the sound of the traffic blaring through the windows ceaselessly. So
make sure the TV's always on to some loud comedy or Shopping Network because they never stop talking.
Yeah. All right. So Agent Troy, probably the best place to start is going to be a hospital. Based on Conati's perceived wealth and all the rest of it, you probably assume that he goes to a private hospital, and so you can head off there.
Very good.
Let's have a look.
Well, what I could do is I could do a quick search and pull up the ZyMed SOP and see who they signed on for their insurance and start with the hospitals that they would use there. And then just extrapolate it for executives, maybe find something better from there.
Well, I tell you what, just give me. You don't have any special training on or knowledge of this area, do you? You're not local, are you?
No.
Okay. So give me an intelligence check.
You got it. Rolling. A 29, and I believe he had a 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you sort of a quick look around and a quick Google search, you intuit that if he goes to any hospital at all, he probably goes to the Mount Auburn Hospital, which is a private clinic, sort of literally a few streets away from his residence on Binney Street.
I'm going to pass that information along to the nerd and let him do it so they can try to get, because they're not going to give me anything over the counter. So I'll let him do it.
Sounds good.
Okay. That being so, are you going to stay with Agent Torrey, or are you going to go off with Tom and Troy? Sorry, Tom and Tarrant.
I guess we'll make it 2 and 2.
Okay. So you stay and help Agent Torrey out, if only just processing information, because he's finding a lot of information, but more information than he can process. So between the two of you can just kind of scroll through all this stuff and make relevant notes. So what I'll do is I'll go with you two gentlemen first, and then we'll go to Tom and Tarrant afterwards.
All right.
Okay. So nothing much about the Anak brothers other than what you found out. Although you do find out a little bit about ZyMedBio, the alleged company in India. As far as you can tell, looking at it, it looks like it's spending large sums of money doing absolutely nothing.
Interesting.
It seems to be genuinely paying wages to research scientists, but as far as you can tell, those research scientists publish no papers, attend no conferences.
Do they even exist? Or are they just men on paper?
Impossible. I mean, impossible to say from your end.
Right.
It's perfectly conceivable that they don't. There's very little to suggest that they're doing that. It's anything other than that. ZyMedBio is anything other than an exercise in shuffling money around.
Right, and I'm sure any names that I could find for said scientists are very common names around Mumbai.
Yeah. You further find out that ZyMedBio was genuinely awarded FDA approval to carry out stage 1 research into this product called Xylactis, trademark. That was carried out between 2014 and late 2016, at which point they received FDA approval to begin stage 2 limited human trials.
Okay.
Give me bureaucracy, medicine, or science at 70% or better, either of the two of you gentlemen?
Yes. Bureaucracy. No, I did not pronounce it properly, but whatever.
John, Agent Troy, do you have medicine or science at 70% plus?
I have medicine not at 70. What was the other one?
Science, any science.
If science is slicing people up, no. Nope, no 70%.
Okay, well, you can make, rather than giving an automatic success.
Well, I have first aid at 70, and I don't think that's enough. That's
not quite for what this is for, but you can go ahead and make me a dice roll check on those, though. Either of them.
If it doesn't fit, I'll just pass and be confused.
No, you can. Basically, the way it works in Delta Green is if you have it at a certain level, you don't even roll dice. You just do it.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay, I got you.
But if you don't have it, you can still. I mean, I'm going to interpret it saying you can still roll for it.
If it's any consolation, you got a 17. So
okay. And this takes quite a while to piece this all through, because what you find is the data that they submitted to the FDA to get their stage 2 human trials. And there's something just off about it. It just...
Yeah, I'm going to bite onto that and just follow it.
It's... Do any of you know what p-hacking is?
No.
Is that when you are taking a leak and you swing your hand through the stream?
It's actually a way of fiddling trial data, medical trial data.
Oh, so falsifying it all.
Yes.
Mm.
And it's more a gut feeling. You just haven't got the time to take the hours and hours and hours it would take to crunch the numbers. But it's the way that all their data falls exactly just the right side of the line for being accepted for stage 2 trials.
And that's impossible. That is impossible, I think.
But not so much as for it to be an outlandish, exaggeration, but just consistent.
So they had to be doing, but if this was they already had been approved for stage 1.
Correct.
So for stage 2, they had to use that trial data from stage 1.
Correct.
Were the names of the subjects submitted for that trial data?
No,
so anything all anonymous.
Or animal testing. Stage 1
or animal. Okay. Try and so there's anonymous, but there would be some kind of identifying information, I'm betting. So try and get that all set up in a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
See what patterns are there.
Okay. The essential pattern is the one that I've already described. They consistently kind of go, okay. What they appear to be doing is they appear to be sending in putting forward all this trial data to the FDA,
right?
Which always is just innocuous enough not to raise any flags.
Just to make myself sure, I'm going to pull up trial data for the company called Panacea, and there's a drug called Celebrex, which was I believe it's for arthritis. I can't remember exactly, but just compare their trial numbers to trial numbers for this to see what a real trial would look like.
They're all over the place. They're all over the place.
And I should point this out to Agent Troy and say, yeah, this is impossible. These numbers are fake.
Very good. Well, we didn't expect them to be on the up and up.
Yeah, but the fact that this got through, well, can't expect pencil pushers who have to look at 5,000 applications a day to do due diligence, I guess. I'm not sure where to take it from here. So they've already, I'm not sure where to take it from here.
Well, we'll come back to you, gentlemen, in a few minutes.
Okay.
So, Agents Tom and Tarrant, you're taking a ride out to Binney Street in affluent Cambridge, yes?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. So,
looks like an interesting neighborhood.
Yeah, it's as far as I can tell, it's essentially very upscale, is it not? I hope.
It is. This building is interestingly located across Binney Street from a what was this company again? This is there's a I can't think of the name of it now. There's like a biomedical corporation right across the street, biomedical office right across the street.
Yeah, that's why I select locations, because it really is the heart of the biomed industry.
And but there is, fortunately for us, there's an ice cream shop on the corner across Rogers Street. That'd be a good place for us to do a little surveillance from, perhaps.
Okay. So I take it you follow usual sort of Moscow rules. You park a couple of streets away and walk sort of past the house once, maybe heading towards the ice cream parlor to sit down and just watch?
Yeah, it'd be a good way to start.
Yeah.
Basically, like it looks like I don't know if this was your intention. If it's the same building I'm looking at on Google Street View or not, but it looks like it's a pretty big building, 35 Mini Street.
I've absolutely no idea. I just put the number is probably random. I probably searched for the most upscale zip
Okay.
code.
Well, I'll let you tell me about the building, then and I'll stop looking at Google Street View because I don't want to screw you up.
No, it's essentially just, you're sort of, as I imagined it, it's a fairly standard sort of faux colonial white clapperboard placed with a 4-column portico out looking out over an immaculate lawn.
And there's buildings relatively close around it as well.
It's essentially it's a mixture of sort of small scale artisan shops and large expensive residential houses. As you walk past, can you both make me alertness checks? In fact.
Oh, sure. Wow, that is a critical success. I rolled a 22.
I got a 45. I'm not sure if it's critical.
For Delta Green guys, those of you who are new to the Arc Dream Delta Green RPG, anytime you roll doubles is a critical. Now, if it's a failure, it's a critical failure. If it's a success, it's a critical success.
Oh, that's interesting.
Also, if you roll a 0-1 is another critical success.
Yeah. Okay. I remember Neil saying that. Yeah. Now. Yeah. Cool. So we'll like pass, but not critical.
Yeah. So both of you notice him because he's just right out there, obviously in the street. But Agent Tom, something nags you about him. Parked more or less opposite Connerty's home is a rusting blue pickup, on the back of which is a whole bunch of gardening tools, chainsaws, wheelbarrows, rakes, lawnmowers, etc. And on the side of which is a sticker, Miraflores Gardening Services. And there's a sort of Latino man in middle age standing on the lawn of the property opposite Connerty's, sort of idly passing a rake across this already immaculate lawn.
Right. A lawn that doesn't need any raking. I'll kind of just lean in a little bit and point him out to Tarrant. I'll say, see that guy over there running the rake over the lawn that doesn't need any more raking?
Branch.
How how does the guy look? Does he look to be in pretty good shape for a gardener?
He's sort of, you would guess, in his mid to late 40s, dressed in blue overalls. A lot of his the van is very sort of rusted around the wheel rims and things like that. But a lot of the equipment looks very new.
Too new. Sorry, and he's paying too much attention to Connerty's residence.
He doesn't seem to be paying any attention either to you or to the residents. He's just standing there raking the lawn, looking down at the ground. Hasn't noticed you at all.
At least as far as we know. And is there anybody else? Does he look like the only person we see? I guess, in theory, of course, security-wise, you wouldn't want your guards all standing around out in your front lawn. But do you see anybody else kind of sitting in cars, parked around the area?
No, I'm going to say it's a Friday by Fiat, and it's the middle of the day. It's very early afternoon, no, it seems like a fairly typical upscale suburban street. There are a few sort of a woman with a baby carriage, a couple of retirees. As you said, there are a few small sort of artisanal shops around, ice cream, coffee shops, bakers, things like that. The kind of people who do their shopping during the middle of the day, but that's it.
And it looks to be a private solo residence.
Yes,
not like a. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we talking much like, security hardware there? Does it appear? I mean, just from a kind of a glance, really, that we're
You're talking like cameras and gates and stuff like that, or
No sign of camera, but there is an alarm box mounted on the wall, front-facing wall of the property, which is maintained by a private security company. You can see the logo straight away.
he doesn't have any like private security on the. He's not that wealthy.
Hasn't even got a fence. You can just walk right onto the lawn from the sidewalk. There is a driveway, but there's no car in it.
okay. What about points of entry?
There is a fence which runs along parallel to the front of the property with a gate in it and a garage also, which you presume has the car entrance of the garage obviously is out facing the street, and you presume that there's another foot entrance inside the garage which leads in behind the fence. And obviously, there's a fairly standard large black gloss painted front door with a semicircular glass fan light above it. No sign of bars on the windows. Curtains are all open.
Okay.
No sign of security bars on any of the windows. No sign of cameras. No, nothing.
So for Agent Tom, anyway, I'm essentially casing the place as if I were playing a B&E and trying to think of the best ways to do so without being seen. Probably trying to think of how to bypass the alarm system. I probably don't have the correct skill for that, however, but maybe one of the other agents will. But yeah, so that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now.
You can give me any sort of appropriate skill. I'd sort of almost be tempted to allow SIGINT for this.
Yeah, and which I'm unfortunately not super good at.
I'm not too bad at it.
Okay.
Got 50%.
Yeah, go for it.
Here we go. Oh, Jesus, 52. I missed it.
So, what did we get? Anything?
No,
Any
fails.
No. Okay. So yeah, I mean, from your position, that security box on the wall could represent anything from an empty box with a flashing light, designed for a deterrent, up to the second that a window is opened or smashed without the inside alarm being turned off, a silent signal being sent to the cops and to the private security firm. You just got no way of knowing.
Right.
Does this place look inhabited? I mean, sorry, I know it's. I mean, does it look like there's anyone at home? Just out of curiosity, like any signs of
movement inside?
There's obviously not a car there, which is, but anything that might.
Okay, so the upside is you've just essentially got a gravel driveway, a wide expanse of lawn, and a paved footpath leading up to the front door. So the upside is there's absolutely nothing to stop you just walking up and looking through the windows. The downside is it's a suburban street during broad daylight.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also apparently what I'm at the moment assuming to be a lookout on the lawn.
That too. But in terms of what you can see from the street, the curtains are open. There appears to be vases on windowsills. You can see that all the windows have curtains, which are drawn and appear to be being held back by those kind of curtain type things. There's nothing to suggest to you it's not anything other than a fairly typical upscale New England professional's house.
Yeah, it doesn't look very secure at all, does it?
No.
So
come back at night.
That said, also there's no way of knowing for sure if he even actually lives here or not. What time of day is it now? It's a little afternoon.
It's about one-ish maybe.
Yeah, one somewhere between 1 and 2 or something like that.
We could spend a few hours in the ice cream shop or popping around the artisan places, and then just keep an eye on the place. But tonight we could come back and.
I'm wondering what's upstairs of the ice cream shop. Because sitting around in the ice cream shop for the next 3 or 4 hours would look kind of suspicious. But
Well, no, I mean, we could vary it. You know, you wouldn't sit in one place. I mean, here with the whole artisans kind of, we could, you know, pretend to be, I don't know, tourists or something.
I look at my suit.
Yeah, see, my suit isn't so.
Don't know anybody who needs an undertaker, do you?
You're right.
Well, we could always come back. We can spend a bit of time and then just come back and just see what. Unless the.
It's entirely up to you. While you're deciding that, I'll just skip back to agents Troy and Torrey. Is there anything else or anybody else you want to just look up while you're here?
Well, let's see here. So trial records are faked. We can't really get too much information on the Anak brothers. Martin Jake was a dead end.
Yes, apparently so.
Okay. Permits and employee records for ZyMed?
Yes, well, you can certainly get a list of who's on the board of directors.
Okay. And then do like cursory searches on them.
Okay. So you've got the Anak brothers you already know, and Conity you already know about. The other two board members are Dr. Beatrice April, who is also listed as the clinical director.
Beatrice April?
Yep. And Mr. Bradley Mester, Mester, who is the chief financial officer. Those are the board members.
Clinical director. All right. Look into them.
Okay. So
they're both doctors, you said?
No,
just Beatrice is. Got it.
Dr. April appears to be the clinical director. Certainly, probably Agent Troy is able to say that probably means she's the person who does the day-to-day medical stuff,
right? Rather
than Conity. As far as you can tell, in terms of her public web online profile, she's Harvard educated, a specialist in genetics, gene therapy, a rising star, published several times in the last few years, who came on board actually pretty much when it was founded in 2014 alongside Conity. Bradley Mester, he is essentially an accountant. You find him listed as he was an employee of KPMG for a little while, and then he moved to Ernst & Young. He's essentially as far as you can tell, a straight up numbers man.
Okay.
Nothing in either of their online profiles suggests anything unusual about them at all.
Okay. I'm kind of at a loss on where to go here. My brain is kind of mushing on me right now.
I have nothing to offer. You nerded out my interest a while ago. I'm just kind of hanging on.
So yeah, it's kind of he's got to be our in guy.
But that's kind of where we started, right?
Yeah, that's right. Back and around. So we got large spending on ZyMed Pro with no apparent. There's no way to track that money, I'm guessing.
No, but yes and no. It all seems to come from various other companies associated with the Anak brothers.
So the money comes from them to ZyMed Pro and then goes somewhere else.
Yep.
Sounds like the shell game. They're moving everything around.
So any other names that you want to look into?
And March Tech had nothing, right?
It has nothing and everything. It's everywhere. I mean, you literally get thousands of hits. It's essentially a sort of military research company. It's sort of like McDonald's, but a little bit more. So
And of course, you were specifically told not to look into Mr. Ortega.
I'm not going to, but check into connections between ZyMed and the Ouroboros snake.
No, nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Shooting in the wind now. All right, so I guess I'll just start doing some background checks on those other companies, but I don't expect to find anything. So just like set up search worms for those, but not really hoping for anything there.
I wonder why you're doing all your nerding there. If you could look on the dark web and see if that same video that we watched is on there.
I could, yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious if that might lead to, hey, I know the guy he bit the face off kind of thing, and then we can look that name up.
Okay, you can set that up.
Yep.
You could look for crime reports at that particular strip club.
I'm sure
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into that. We were already warned not to get into that.
I'm sure they erased all that stuff, but on the dark web, there's not much they can do.
Right.
Okay, so what terms exactly are you searching for?
That video that we watched earlier with him losing his shit and biting the door.
Roadside bomb, Fallujah.
Okay.
Battle of Fallujah, yeah, the first day. Also the strip club, the date of the attack.
Again, I don't want to do anything with the strip club itself, but
primarily, I want to see if another view, perhaps somebody else's cell phone or something, recorded this guy losing his shit, tearing at the wall and biting at doors.
Check message boards and stuff like that. Try and find some like dark web message boards on the enemy side, because I can read Arabic.
Okay.
See if I can't find information through that.
Okay.
Maybe could like add in some of the search terms like ANAC and ZyMed as well.
Okay. So, yes, you basically what happens is you come across a jihadi website which has mobile phone footage of an IED explosion at the same location on the same day, and it's taken from a sort of shaky mobile, and the video footage is up, and it's a shaky camera footage from a mobile phone, probably from a good 100 meters away, showing the Humvee rolling through a long, almost deserted street, telegraph poles askew, dogs and rubbish piled up on the street. Yes, a massive explosion causing the Humvee to flip over on the road. And then everything is lost in kind of black smoke, and cries of Allahu Akbar drown out the rest of the footage. However, of course, as soon as you start putting this stuff in, you are going to get searches related to Dean Ortega.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother with any of those. What I will do is set up a search record for veterans in the Boston area who were amputees, who are either who've gone missing, actually just amputees in the Boston area who've gone missing, or basically who've gone missing.
Okay. Now, because of the search criteria, you're going to keep getting Ortega's name.
Right.
On the dark web?
On either or both.
Yeah, skip anything over Ortega, but look for others.
Okay.
Put it into to specifically exclude Ortega.
Okay, fair enough. They mostly seem to be, I mean, basically, of course, America has been at war for, more or less continuously for 15 years by this point. And there are a lot of veterans, and there are a lot of amputees, and some of them disappear, and some of them disappear in the Boston area. If you want to spend the time running a sort of statistical analysis of that, you will find no more nor less disappear here than anywhere else in the country.
Okay, so that's kind of a dead end.
All right, just asking in nerd talk here. If you're on the dark web, why not search for Ortega? That was the whole point of looking. It's like we're looking for cancer, but we're not going to talk about cancer.
Yeah,
look for Ortega on the dark web.
We were specifically ordered not to look into Ortega, though.
Yeah, but on the dark web, it doesn't count. It's like cheating, but don't tell anybody.
I'm uncomfortable with that.
It's certainly. I'm going. I don't know much about the dark web, but I'm going to make the assumption that it would be very difficult for anybody who may or may not be monitoring your website, your internet usage, to determine exactly what you're looking at.
Oh yeah, anybody that's a tech nerd like that can hide. They'll never be seen.
All right, I guess I'll have to do it then. Bite the bullet and look into it.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. I was going to insult him with some sort of tech nerdy stuff. It's a good thing you're not a hacker, because even a baseline hacker would take care of this.
Okay.
No, I'm not a hacker. Just an analyst.
Come on, do it.
There's lots of references. There are a few scattered references to Ortega, and I'll give you the sort of the summation of them.
Who has that really loud Facebook notification thing going?
Not me.
Nope, I shut my phone off.
It could be me, actually, but I don't know.
It's you.
Right. Whilst Troy and Tori are reading that, which basically essentially sums up everything else that you find when searching for his name in this context. Okay. So Tom and Tarrant back at Binney Street.
Yeah. So, I think I want to stay around here and just kind of keep an eye on this place for the night, or at least for the evening, and to see if our guy shows up.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something else that you want to do, of course, Tarrant, then you don't have to stay with me, but it's entirely up to you.
No, I'd like to stay, but let's try and do it as inconspicuous as possible. Is there, Neil? Is there any kind of pub around that might be?
Here's a nice, a little sort of teachable moment. Luck in Delta Green. Luck in Delta Green is always done on a 50-50. So basically what you do is you roll any dice you like and 50-50 it, and you declare beforehand which is going to be good luck and which is going to be bad luck. Go ahead, roll the dice, and that's what happens. So go ahead, make your luck roll.
Okay, so 1 to 5, lucky on my D10.
Go for it.
2, yes, we're lucky. Yep. There is a pub.
It's not a pub, it's a coffee shop. Which just about has views of Connerty's front of the Connerty's house.
Does it have a sidewalk cafe?
It does.
Perfect.
Does it have hipsters?
I'm afraid so.
Even better.
Okay, you can start shooting them as they set fire to their beards.
I'll go out to my car, open the trunk, take out my laptop case, and head to the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get a spot in the sidewalk cafe. If it's full, I can wait until somebody moves.
It's the
I can
middle
also
of the day.
Stare at somebody long enough until they feel uncomfortable and decide to move.
It's the middle of the day. There's a few sort of, tech startup type people, creating the next Uber from their, laptops, etc. But it's not so busy as you can't find a convenient small table for the two of you to both sit at if you would like, or indeed 2 separate tables if you prefer, to keep an eye on Connerty's house. Yes.
Yep. And I'll pull open my my laptop. And there's not much on it because I'm not a techie guy. I'll just start playing some Doom.
Okay.
And sipping on coffee while I keep an eye on Connerty's place.
Yeah, I'm going to do something similar, but I also want to try and keep my eye on the odd gardener, if possible. I'm going to see what he's doing.
Yeah, okay, you did pretty well on your luck roll, so I'll let you say that you can see him as well. Yeah, basically he's only there for maybe another half an hour or so, and then he gets in his van and drives away.
Okay, but fair enough. I'll have a slice of banoffee a coffee, and I will be pretending to. Well, I will be looking at my laptop slightly, and we'll be watching Connor's palatial residence.
Within about 3 minutes of the gardener leaving, a dark blue Mercedes SL pulls up, swings into the drive. A youngish man in his early 30s, dressed in a business suit, gets out of the driver's side, goes to the back of the vehicle, opens the rear driver's side door, and a man you recognize from his profile, from his file immediately as Dr. Connaty, steps out with a little briefcase and a sort of grey suit, which he's taken his jacket off and has got it hanging over his shoulder, holding it over his shoulder. The young man, the driver, shuts the door for him, then walks up to the house, produces a key, which curiously the driver has the key. The driver opens the door, lets Connaty in, the two men go in, the door shuts.
All right, we've confirmed he definitely does live here, and he uses the home.
Well,
and he has at least one driver / bodyguard with him.
I'd like to bug that residence.
Yeah. Okay. You might want to wait till dark.
Yeah.
And this is just the two of you, right? We haven't caught back up together yet.
No.
Fair
We
enough.
haven't reconvened yet.
Although we should kind of maybe, I will send those to.
WhatsApp message.
Yeah, could send them a kind of a message to let them know what we're kind of where we're at, so they're not in the loop.
Or reply with info found, dead end.
Okay, so are you going to reconvene as a unit? If so, where and when?
Well, we've established that he lives there, and that
Yeah, and you want to come back at night, you said, to try to possibly bug the place or something, right?
Yeah, if possible, or perhaps.
Okay.
You
Well,
might
I
need
tell you
to-
what. Why don't you go catch up with those guys at the base? I'll stay here and keep an eye on the place until you come back, at least.
Okay.
Just because I want to see, I want to continue to keep eyes on it for a bit. I want to see, like, if the driver stays, if he leaves. I'm assuming the driver will probably stay with him. He's probably 24-hour assistance, as it were, per se. But
Yeah, he doesn't look like he needs 24 hours assistance.
well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Security.
no, I'm just that's it. Is it a chauffeur bodyguard type thing? So I'll borrow Ian's car if he doesn't mind, because he drove me here, and I'll go back to the chaps and fill them in.
Okay.
And I can always just get in on the WhatsApp call.
Yeah.
So it's so I can, like, conference call into them, basically. Not conference call, but you know what I mean, like. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I just don't want to take eyes off the house yet for a little while. I want to keep an eye and see what happens. See what kind of getting an idea what the routine is here or whatever.
Okay. So Tarrant drives back to join the other two back at the motel, and while you're sitting there, Tom, in the cafe, it's about maybe an hour and a half later. The front door opens again, and the young driver comes out. He walks down to a sort of walks down a few blocks, not a few blocks, 100 meters or so, to a car which you had noticed but hadn't paid no mind to. It's just a little sort of
Sedan or something.
Sedan, ordinary sedan. And can you make me an alertness roll, please?
Happily. 78, which is still a success.
Okay.
Barely, but
You are who you are, and you look at people in a certain way and you look for certain things about them. And as this guy is walking down the street, you clock the fact he's wearing an ankle holster. He's armed.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised, but yep, I'll make a mental note of that. And so he goes and he gets into the sedan, and does he drive off?
He certainly does, yes.
And I have not seen anyone else arrive.
Yep.
Okay. What time? I'll make note of the time.
Let's put it this way. It was more or less a bit less than an hour after the two men went into the house.
Right. Cool. Let's make kind of note of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Agent Tarrant tips up at the motel, and what are you three gentlemen going to do from there?
All right, I'll show them all the info I gathered. The article about Ortega that Ortega's mentioned in, so we know his ultimate end. The information about ZyMedBio and how they seem to spend huge amounts of money with nothing to show for it. The information about the Xylactic trial and how all the submitted data appears to be faked.
Mm-hmm.
The information of the other two board members, Dr. April and Mr. Mester, and how they pretty much seem to be not persons of interest at all.
Mm-hmm.
How the Anak brothers received. I think we found that before.
Yeah, they may have been there, may not. I know. Actually, yeah. I think not. I think they'd already gone. It's just because I did your guys.
Yeah, that hadn't been mentioned.
Right.
No.
So how they got political asylum for national security reasons.
Where were they from?
They are the sole shareholders, Kyrgyzstan.
Yep.
How do you spell their last name?
ANAK.
Again, I'll relay all the information that we had found, including the odd gardener, and the fact, that not long after he left,
Minutes, in fact.
Connolly appeared with a chauffeur or bodyguard.
Who, if it's happened already right now, I'll say who then left a little more than an hour later in his own personal car, which had been parked down the road. Okay. And the chauffeur was armed as well. Ankle holster.
Where will we be in the next hour?
That's what Neil, what time is it in the game?
I would say that by the time you rejoin them at the motel, it's probably a little after 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay. Sounds about right for management to be getting home.
Sorry, Neil, would it be possible that in my go bag that I have a balaclava and a silencer?
Ooh, yeah, why not?
Cool.
Balaclava. I know it's Boston, but we call it a face mask in America, man.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the mall.
Do you have photos of the security system? Did you take any photos of that?
I got photos
of the property.
Well, actually,
well, we're on. I'm in a WhatsApp call to you right now. I could. Can you turn on my camera and try to zoom it in?
Yeah, see if I can't notice anything about the system, because I had the pretty good SIGINT.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, go ahead, make me the roll.
All right. Nope, that's a fail.
Okay.
No.
From the photograph, you can't, as I said to the other two,
it's too generic to tell. Yeah.
Can I look up on with my laptop skills and my Psi thingamajig, my Psi? Can I try and find out what type of system this is? Is there any kind of like a Psi int and maybe my with my laptop as well. Like, can I look on the web for kind of?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, sure. You've got a photograph of it, which has got a sort of a model number and the name of the security company. And from that, you can tell relatively simply. Yeah, it's a reasonably high-end, genuine security system. So it's not just a box on a wall with a light.
Yeah.
It really does send a silent signal to the cops and to this security company in the event that windows are broken or raised without the alarm code being previously put in. And does it give you information on how to cut it? Yes, it's maintained by a wireless signal. Give me a SIGINT roll, please.
Here we go. 11. So that would actually so that would be
That's a crit.
critical.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, with a critical success, I'm going to tell you what you do is you manage to find out the frequency that it broadcasts on.
Oh, bitchin'.
And what you can do is you can effectively jam the signal.
Well, okay, great.
You'll need to go to whatever the equivalent of radio. I think Radio Shack has gone down the pan in the States now, hasn't it?
Yeah, but they've got other shops.
Yeah. Basically, just a sort of a reasonably good electronics shop will get you the tool that you need.
Text that info off to Agent Troy, who's on his way to the mall.
Yeah.
Aha. Okay. So, Troy, you get a text very handily as you're in the middle of your purchases, instructing you to go and get a particular piece of equipment with a certain serial number.
Well, I happen to be in an electronics store currently.
There you go. Very good. So you're able to pick up this piece of equipment as well.
Done.
Sorry, go ahead.
Done and done.
Okay. So, Agent Tom, how long are you going to spend? It's getting on for sort of, let's think, probably 4:30 now. And the cafe is sort of emptying there's the sort of the bus boys are sort of quite conspicuously clearing up around you. It closes at 5, this place.
Wow, lame. Yeah, I'll close my my laptop and sling it over my shoulder, and I'll go for a little bit of a stroll because I reckon people will be coming out now, kind of working their ways home from work. Anybody who happens to work in the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of people moving about, so I want to take kind of a little walk around, as inconspicuously as I can, around Carnati's place, and kind of get an idea of. Now this time, instead of looking at his house, what I'm looking at is outside sources of potential surveillance, like security cameras on buildings across the street and things of that sort, to try to get a feeling again, like in my mind, because I'm a morbid bastard, I'm already planning to abduct this guy and interrogate him. So I'm just trying to think of what the best way, again, like just perfectly planning my points of entry and exit if need be. Like if I was trying to carry a body out of this guy's house, which path would I take? If it's
yeah, I mean, essentially, actually, probably weirdly, the easiest way to do it is to park right outside his place.
Sure.
Because you've got, as I say, you've got several little shops and businesses, some of whom have
It
security.
looks like a camera dead zone.
Yeah, some of whom don't. But this is, on the residential side.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's you could no. Other than sort of traffic cameras on the way here.
Mm-hmm.
On the interstate or whatever, but you're always vulnerable to them. But
sure.
Yeah, you could essentially park right outside his house, and no image would be recorded.
Okay, and I haven't seen anybody else go into his house, right?
Nope.
Okay, so do I want to do it? Do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'll take my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the battery out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in my pocket. put
Yep.
put the battery cover back on.
Mhm.
And I'm going to walk up to his front door. And if there's a doorbell, I'll ring the doorbell. If not, then I'll knock.
Yep, there's a brass sort of faux antique brass doorbell with the word press in kind of Victorian script on it.
I will press.
Okay, and a sort of two-tone chime is heard on the other side of the door, muffled by the door. And after 20 or 30 seconds, Connerty opens the door, dressed in his shirt sleeves. Yes?
Look, I'm sorry. I was wondering if I could use your phone. My battery seems to have died, and I can't get a hold of my friend. I was just wondering if I could use your phone so I could give a call for a pickup. Do you have a mobile phone or a house phone I could use by chance? Anything?
Give me a few minutes, please.
Sure. No.
Okay. He sort of looks at you a bit puzzled and sort of tries to peer over your shoulder as if looking to see if you've got anybody else with you.
I just gotta look over my shoulder too, like.
Okay. Yeah.
Just looking at it, like.
Sure. Come on in. He sort of throws the door open and leads you a sort of a plush, thickly carpeted hallway with sort of, little small hallway tables and all this kind of business. It's conventionally furnished, very tastefully. Little bits of objet d'art and things, pictures, which are way outside your experience to judge the quality or value of them. And a couple of doors down in this hallway opens a door which leads you into a room with a view. The window is on the opposite wall of the door and has a view over the garden. So you can get a quick sense of, it's got quite a large back garden. You're on the opposite side from the garage. So the garage is on the far side. So what you're looking at is an open lawn area behind the fence. There's a phone on a small table just by the door, and he sort of says, "There you go. Help yourself."
Yep, cool. So I'll pick it up and I'll dial my own number. My battery's not even in my phone, so it's gonna go. And then I'll try again, and after no success, I'll say, "Well, I can't get a hold of him, but well, thank you very much. I do appreciate your help." I'm sorry, I'm not from this neighborhood, but if I were trying to get back to, let me see here, what neighborhood? I'll just say like a downtown area of Boston. What bus should I try to grab?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know the bus routes.
Well, all right. I'll try maybe at another shop or something. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you trying to help out.
Not at all. And he kind of escorts you back. And as you walk back down the hallway, you notice you didn't see it because the door kind of opened in front of it. But on the see behind the door, there's the alarm panel.
Okay, very good. Make a mental note of all of that. And I will excuse myself again, just thanking him and walking away.
Okay. He sort of nods and smiles and shuts the door.
And I'll wait until I'm like a block away out of view before putting the battery back into my phone.
Sure.
And then I'm going to call Tarrant for pickup.
Yeah.
So the whole time I was in there too, of course, I would have been trying to take in as much information as I could. And the fact that he answered the door himself kind of basically answers the main question I wanted to know, was if he was actually home alone, which he does seem to be.
Yeah, you didn't get any indication. There was no sounds. Not even there didn't appear to be any television or radio or anything like that.
Yeah.
Did Agent Tom call him or use the group chat that we're on?
To call Tarrant for pickup? Oh, probably good on the group chat.
I'm already out, so Troy will swing by and pick him up.
Okay. Yep. Sure. I'll give him. I walk like a block or two down until I see like a sandwich shop or a burger place or something like that. Whatever they have in this neighborhood.
Falafel.
Yes, I was going to say it'll be somewhere selling couscous and quinoa.
Yeah, sure. I'll just give him that address. I'll go up and get myself a bite to eat, and I'll wait for him.
Okay. So Troy, you swing by, pick up Tom, and you all head back to the
as he approaches to pick up Tom. Are there any hippies on the sidewalks?
Hippies?
Give me a luck roll.
Hipsters.
Tell me if you failed.
Okay, I'll go with high as success, and it is a low success, but it's a success.
Okay. That depends on what you're wanting to happen. What do you regard as a lucky outcome?
If there are hippies.
In that case, yes, there are a couple of men with expensive leather man bags and walking down the street.
Are they wearing beanies even though it's hot?
They are beanies and cheesecloth shirts.
With really tight skinny jeans?
Yeah, why not?
Are they really close to the sidewalk?
Not close enough to run over.
All right, he'll just go pick up Tom then.
Christ, John. It's psychopath.
He was just working it out in his head.
Okay, so the four of you eventually reassemble back.
So I get in and I offer him a falafel.
He looks at him and he looks back at the
probably more of a shawarma, like a sandwich. Here you go. I got you one.
He's going to look back at the hipsters longingly and he's going to eat the sandwich.
I hope you like chili sauce.
Well, we brought enough for us.
What sort of heathen would not like chili sauce?
All right. Well, good news anyway. So I popped by Kanati's house and I went inside to use his phone. And it looks like he's home alone. Very, very low security. So if we decide we want to talk to this guy in person, it shouldn't be too hard to organize. Especially if one of those other guys can figure out anything to do about that alarm.
I brought this just in case. And he shows him the drone and the GoPro. I figured we'd fly this around the windows if we had to, but you took the direct route.
Very good. Well, hey, you know what? This could come in handy later. I can. I learned a lot about explosives in my time in the military, so we can do some pretty shocking stuff with this.
So you're saying we can weaponize this little drone?
Absolutely.
That's a wonderful thought. My initial thought was to use just an over-the-counter drone with an over-the-counter GoPro, so that if it got caught, we could just say it was a kid that was flitting around the neighborhood. But I do like the idea of putting an explosive on it.
Hey, look, that works too.
Maybe we could get an empty GoPro and fill the empty GoPro up with explosives. It has two cameras on it, but one of them goes boom.
I'm already working it out in my head as to how I would do that. I have what is my demolitions?
I would
demolitions of 60. Yeah.
I would say flechettes. I've always liked that word, flechette.
Mm-hmm. Messy, but yeah.
Well, of course. A job that's not messy is not a job worth doing.
All right.
So, yeah. Right. Oh, I didn't get any more of those. You might want to finish that before we get back to the base.
Bastards.
Okay, so plan of action, gentlemen.
Gonna break in at night, maybe. Or I mean, can we? Well, do we?
Well, let's discuss this again. Like, what exactly is our objective here? We want to find out
what is ZyMedBio up to?
What they're up to, right? And we want to know if it's something that needs to be acted on. And if there's anything that needs to be acted on immediately, of course, we have the clearance to do so, as long as we clean it up and don't leave any trace or any loose ends.
Well, one thing we do know is that they're faking their research data, so they're hiding. They're definitely hiding something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Government's involved.
Well, they do have citizenship due to a national emergency. I say with air quotes.
Citizenship. What do you mean citizenship?
They were nationalized.
Oh, you're talking about these ANAC guys, yeah?
The ANAC guys, the owners, the sole shareholders of this company. They're funneling tons of money through their operation in Mumbai to God knows where. So, yeah, they are definitely hiding something they don't want anyone to know about.
And so where are they?
Yeah, where are they?
Well,
But isn't like Connery the kind of the main?
He's our main target.
So I mean, we can either. I mean, there's a few approaches. We could just walk in and walk him out in a body bag. Well, I mean, talk to him. I mean, interrogate him or break in, bug the place, or well, ideally, what we would want to do is get in and see what the hell is on his computer. What's he got in his home as well, so we could pose his I don't know, workman or something and bug the place. Maybe when he's out one day, if we hear him.
Well, I'll tell you, the alarm panel is just inside the front door. He is home alone. He answered the door when I went up and rang the bell himself.
Thing is, do we want to disappear this guy so quickly?
No.
Alarm
I don't
bells.
think we do. What I'm saying is, if he's home alone, he's an elderly man. Could try a covert, like you're talking about, bugging the place. Probably the safest time to do so is going to be at night while he's home and theoretically asleep. Will any of you be able to disable that alarm so that we're not setting it off in the process so he doesn't even know we were there?
I point over at Agent Tarrant.
It should be very. It should be easy to do.
If he does happen to wake up or discover us while we're there, well, then we have to take Plan B.
Well, torture him, find out what goes on, and then stage it. Looks like a burglary.
Yeah. Yep. A breaking and entry gone wrong resulted in homicide.
Yeah, terrible shame.
If it comes to questioning, yeah, I'll definitely I'll get info out of him.
Oh, you're good at that kind of thing, are you?
Just a bit.
My eyes light up a little bit. I suddenly have gained more respect for you. I thought you were just a computer nerd.
Well, I'm not really a computer nerd. I do know how to do it, but I have other skills.
So, what kind of bugs do you want to put on this guy? You want to bug his phone? You want to bug his computer? You want to put like some kind of put like a worm or something on his computer so we'll be able to trace.
Yeah, getting a worm on the computer would probably be the best thing to do.
Be very easy to do too.
Yeah.
Something in it. If he has a study as well, something like would be nice.
Something what? I'm sorry.
Sorry, if he has a study, or some place or his phone.
Oh yeah, like an office.
It really depends on Neil as well. Can we have access to bugging equipment, or is that something we're going to have to sequester? Or
who has got SIGINT, and at what level have you got it?
I have it at 60.
I have it at 50.
Sounds like 60 is our highest.
60?
What do you got, John? You got any SIGINT?
No.
I'll say 60 is high enough for you to be able to carry with you things like I mean, you'd probably have a little stick drive with something like that on it with a SIGINT. Sure.
Wouldn't even require us putting in a password. You just stick it in the slot, turn the computer on, and it'll load itself.
There you go.
Sounds like a Friday night.
BIOS, yeah. If that's even a thing, I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. So yes, you've got that on a little memory stick. No problem.
Mm-hmm. However, I'm not the best at infiltrating. But it doesn't take much to do. You just stick it in the computer and turn it on, and then turn it off and pull the stick out.
I've got a reasonably good stealth.
I've got a good stealth, good awareness.
I could be on standby nearby, though, in case we need to talk to this guy directly.
As far as actual breaking and entering, what skill would be involved in that? I don't know.
No.
Criminology, probably. No, would it?
No.
What's this for, sorry?
What would be required in like breaking into someplace? What skill? Stealth? Okay, yeah, then I'm fine.
So I've got 70, so
do I.
Yeah, so
I have a little bit, but nowhere near that.
Well, we stick to what we're good at. You handle the signal stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm intel.
Terrence and I can both handle stealth all right. Like I said, I'm good at alertness, and I'm really good at fucking things up in a variety of ways.
Yeah. We got all our bases covered here, I think.
Yep.
What do you think about all this, Troy? Any thoughts or anything to add?
I'm a little bit out of my dimension. I'm more of a hands-on guy.
Right.
Very hands-on.
I have good ideas. I mean, I've got the drone and the I got the drone and the GoPro and this big surgical nut. I mean, I've got the drone and the GoPro.
How noisy are drones? They're like,
Depends. They're not terribly noisy though. Even the
Oh no, they're very quiet.
Yeah.
They're super quiet.
oh, cool. Yeah. So
It's a hum. If there's any kind of noise, city noise, you'll never hear it.
oh, cool. So yeah. So we have those options. So do we want to go in tonight then? We could maybe hire a van or and just sit in the van somewhere close by and wait and then just kind of pop out.
Well, the easiest way to do it is going to be right up from his driveway.
Well, I suppose you just well, you can't really just drive in over gravel. Well, you could.
I wouldn't recommend renting a van because
yeah.
rental information can be traced, etc. If anything, is they steal a van.
But don't we? Well, yeah, that's true. We have fake IDs and stuff, right? So kind of we're all faker bakers, but yeah, we can just boost one. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, would that be stealth? I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. We could steal a van, drive up, go in. We probably want to do this around maybe 2:00 in the morning. I'm thinking that's usually a pretty good time for somebody to be in deep sleep.
Yep.
I think 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning around that. That's around the time people reach their general. Obviously, it's a generalization, but deepest levels of sleep.
Yep.
Sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So,
Did you happen to notice any alcohol while you're in his home?
I don't know. Did I happen to notice any alcohol while I was in his home?
give me.
I did go into his kitchen.
Right, but you did pass through.
Want a luck roll?
Give me. Actually, give me a. I'll give you a retconned alertness roll.
Okay, sure. Yeah, 42 success.
Yeah, the room he showed you into was like a sort of living room, and when asked, you didn't really clock it at the time, but when asked, yes, there was a drinks cabinet in there.
Okay, so the possibility that he has a couple nightcaps is good, which would just help him sleep all the harder.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
Oh gosh, no!
If you're going to put a retinol in there.
I just want to know.
All right. All right. Sounds
Okay.
like a plan.
So,
We haven't even checked out the offices for Zycor yet.
Sure.
Good start. Good start.
Okay, that's going to be a place that's going to be fairly well hard.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Better to do this. I mean, it's already going to be quite questionable enough, but at least it's manageable.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, how are you going to get there? Did you decide?
We are going to steal a van.
Okay. So who's going to steal this van?
Well, either me or Ola. You said it was a stealth, right? So
Either one of us.
Yeah, it's probably a stealth to do it without getting caught, but to actually hotwire it and all the rest of it, I'll give it to you on your lockpick skill.
oh yeah, okay, that would be me.
Lockpick skill. You have a lockpick skill?
It's not a skill; it's a special training. It goes under your dex stat.
Oh, cool. You have a special training for lockpicks, yeah? Good. Well, then you do it. Because I don't have that.
I have a dog that's dreaming here, and I need to just turn her over slightly and chill.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, he's having a dream. Yeah, I should just give her like a scratch, and she kind of wakes
So
up.
you have that lock pick skill you said though, right, Rob?
Yeah. So
So you're our booster.
yeah. So okay. So what?
Okay, so you go out on the street. So go ahead and make me. We're not going to play this. We'll just give me a stealth roll and a lockpick roll to establish that you do it, and do it without getting seen.
And the lockpick roll comes under.
It's just your dex times 5.
Hope you got a good dex.
Okay. Well, no. Well, not really. The first one should be handy enough. Yeah, 21. No bother.
Yep. So you find a nondescript dirty white van parked in a side street with no cameras, no street lights. Yep.
Perfect. And the second row. 97.
97. Okay. Fail. But you can retry it. But what I'm going to make you do is I'm going to make you make another stealth check so that nobody hears you as you basically sort of pull the fascia off this car engine to try and get to the wires underneath. Go ahead, so stealth check.
Okay, stealth check, 48, no problem.
Yeah. Second lockpick attempt.
No, 0. This should be good. 0, 1. Don't believe it. Yeah, lovely.
So let's say that the first trouble you had was actually getting in.
Yeah.
But once you're in, yeah, you just sort of with a screwdriver, you just rip off the plastic surrounding the steering column and easily hotwire it and drive it away without anybody being any the wiser.
Yeah, I'll go up and pick up whoever's coming in.
Have you done this before, Neil?
No.
Just asking.
Like with so many other things here, I'm relying on Hollywood for my knowledge.
Perfect source.
Yeah. Well, are we all going, or is it just?
I'll be going.
You're going.
Oh,
I'm going.
I'm definitely going.
Yeah, we're all going.
Okay. So, yep. Okay. So you've boosted a kind of 3-seater white Ford Transit type thing. So 3 of you can fit in the front, and somebody has to sit in the back. But you sort of drive off, and you're able to park it up at a reasonable distance from the house, in some sort of side street out of the way, I presume.
I thought we were going to pull up in the driveway.
Oh, you're just going to go for it? Oh, okay.
Well, maybe not.
Yes. Well, of course, yes.
I was thinking, but for dead spots, cameras and stuff.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely correct. So yeah, okay. You just sort of who's driving?
Anybody have any points in drive?
I have no additional points in drive. Just a basic driver.
Me too. So, anyone want to drive? Anyone?
No, I just wanted you to establish amongst yourself whether you had a driver or not.
No, well, I mean, I'll quite happily drive, but I have no skill. Not, I'm just the average. Just
Yeah, you might as well drive then.
Okay.
Well, as soon as we get to the
how wired did I presume you're still,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As soon as I get close to the property, I'm going to don my fantastic balaclava.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just pull in and.
Yeah, I think everybody should have those that's going in, of course. So, Patrick should probably just all have them anyway, just in case.
Balaclavas and not face masks.
Okay. So you pull the van in, kill the lights just before you turn into the driveway, so that you don't sort of light up the front of the house.
Yeah.
And park the van right outside his garage. Streets. You said you went in 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a few sort of
probably 2 a.m. to steal the van, so it might be approaching 3 a.m. by the time we get there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there are a few sort of these very upmarket white non-sodium street lights here. So there's anti-light pollution measures. So you sort of pull up, and the nearest street light's about 30 meters away. So you're in more or less close to pretty much total darkness.
Excellent.
There are no lights on. All the curtains in Connity's house are closed.
Now, how are we disabling that alarm?
We'll activate our little friend.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, and whoever's going to do it, make me a SIGINT check. You can do that at +20 because you have all the relevant information.
You want me to roll a stealth roll for actually breaking into the house?
Who's got the highest SIGINT? Mine is 50.
I'm at 0.
Max got 60.
Okay, so you can activate it then after we play.
All right.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see here. Dice don't fail me. Oh yeah, I made it by quite a bit. I rolled a 59, and with the plus, I have an 80 with the plus 20 on there. So
Yep, no
by
problem.
21. Yep.
So yeah, unless you basically fumbled, you would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So
We're all good.
you just we switch on this little electronic emitting device, which essentially cancels out the signal and ensures that the alarm can't send the any information anywhere.
Give them a thumbs up so that they know they're good to go.
Okay, I got a 27 on that stealth roll for the door.
You're going to try and go in the front door.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way, because if we try to go around through the garage and stuff, there's going to be multiple doors.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I have the old little lockpick thing for the Yale type locks. If that's will that give me any bonus, or is that just the standard 66?
I would give you. Well, I'd give it to you under your lockpick skill with a bonus. But
which would be equal to my stealth skill anyway, I think. Well, what is your dexterity?
My dexterity is pretty crud. It's 12, so it's 66.
Well, 12 is 60, right? Oh, so you'd have plus 20 to give you an 80.
Oh, sorry, it's 60. Yeah, cool. Where did I get that 66 from?
I don't know.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. Yeah.
So, yeah, you'd be better than you'd be slightly better. Although I already rolled and I rolled a 27. But if you want to go ahead.
Done it, then cool. Just
So as you're like saying, "Oh, I've got this special lockpick," I'm like, the door opens.
The gold credit card through the latch.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I put my wallet back in my pocket.
That's a great lockpick. You pulled it out and the door opened.
Yeah.
Scared that door into submission.
I've had to break into my place a couple times with a credit card.
Puts his hand on the guy's
So
shoulder.
what I want to
says,
do, since the SIGINT guys are going to be handling the buggings, I think I will try to stealthily make my way over to our Mark's room, and park myself nearby just in case he does happen to wake up. So I'm ready to pounce quickly.
Okay, go ahead and give me 2 stealth rolls off the bat, please.
2 stealth rolls. First one is an 07.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is an 09. Wow.
Okay.
Nice. I'm just going to be staying in the van monitoring the equipment to make sure that nothing happens.
I love both these sets of dice.
So, yep, cat-like Agent Tom, you make your way up the stairs, and it's difficult to know exactly which is his bedroom. You're slightly helped by the fact that 1 or 2 of the doors are actually open and ajar and reveal what is obviously a spare room. And but interestingly, the other one appears to be an upstairs office.
Okay. Cool.
Target acquired.
Mm-hmm.
Do
I eventually find his room? Or no? Is there no sign of?
Well, you've got another sort of 2 or 3 doors up here, which are presumably a bathroom, a something, and one of them is his bedroom. But you can station yourself on the landing such as that you'll be able to make it to whichever door he might be in a heartbeat.
Okay, those doors are all closed, though.
Correct.
He sleeps with his bedroom door closed when he's home alone. Interesting. This is a man who has something to hide.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep, I will park myself strategically, ready to strike if need be.
Okay. Who else is going inside?
Me as well, but probably more on the. I'd like to have wearing gloves, of course. I'd like to have a snoop around his study or office, whatever's available.
Okay.
Agent Troy's going to walk in like it's his house. He's just going to walk around and check stuff out without touching anything.
Better be quiet.
Okay, so can Agent Tarrant and Agent Troy both make me stealth rolls, please? Unless it's literally, Troy, you're not bothering.
49. No problem. Yeah.
Yep. And Troy?
If you're going to give me minuses, that's cool, but I rolled a 3.
Okay.
without even intending to.
Okay. So yep, no, that's fine. So yes, you're. What are you trying to do? What are you?
He's
looking
very light on his feet.
for? Mhm. So starting with Agent Tarrant, where are you going? What are you looking for?
Well, basically, I'd like to try and find either a study or some kind of office. Well, we have to plant this thing in the office, right? On his computer.
The worm, yes, but you were going to bug some phones too, weren't you?
I don't. Did I get access to any bugs, Neil, or was it just
What's yours again?
850?
50.
Yeah.
Mine was 60.
Give me a luck roll.
Oh, here we go. All right. So this dice 1 to 5, lucky 2, lucky.
Okay. Yep. But only one. So there's probably more than one house. More than one phone in the house, but you have to choose one to place it in.
Well, preferably, I would like to place anything. Well, does that mean his mobile phone would be? Well, I mean, is this just a kind of well, if this is just a general bug, I'd like to bug his office then. If it's
Makes sense.
Yeah.
His office is upstairs where I am.
It's a little.
Or his car.
It's a little microdot sort of transmitter, basically, is what you've got.
Yeah. So I'll bug his office then.
Okay. So you sort of look through all the ground floor. You've got a very large kitchen. You've got a dining room with a big dining table set for 8. You've got a sort of living room and what appears to be a library with a lot of medical textbooks. But no office computer or obvious kind of desk type thing. So that basically now that's all the ground floor, and there doesn't appear to be any office type.
Yeah. Well, I'll just head up to the second floor quietly, of course.
Meanwhile, Agent Troy, what are you doing? What are you looking for?
He's kind of just meandering, checking it out, checking out the art, the layout of the floor, maybe meander into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Give me a human roll, please, Troy.
Okay. I'm going to roll them and look it up. That does not bode well. It's a 50. Let me go see what I got. I think I have a 50. Well, there you go.
Oh,
I have nothing in Signet, but I got HumeNet. So
okay. So you've been around serious medical people in the course of your career, and all of them that you've ever come across, the kind of dedicated, hardcore professional surgeons, the consultants, etc., all of them are incapable of leaving work at work. They always bring their work home with them.
indeed,
there's case notes, there's research journals, there's, here, nothing. You wouldn't, but for the fact that he has this library of sort of, essentially medical textbooks, quite a lot to do with genomics, but there's no sign he brings his work home with him at all, which is odd.
I'm going to go find our Wetworks guy there, Tom.
Are you in the office, or are you downstairs?
I was downstairs. I assumed wandering around the kitchen and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm upstairs, so.
Yep. So Tarrant, you make your way upstairs to Tom, who's standing at the top of the landing, watching where he can see all the doorways.
Yeah.
And you can see, it's the same as what he saw. When you get to the top of the landing, you can see there's a partially open door, and there is a little sort of home office, laptop, etc., in a little room off the hallway.
Okay, cool. I'll kind of sneak in. I'll put the kajigger into the laptop and do what needs to be done on that, and I'll kind of I'll bug the office.
Give me a stealth roll, please.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
Give me a stealth roll, please.
Here we go. 36. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. you switch the computer. You put the stick in. You switch the computer on, and as you do so, you see the monitor come on, and it just occurs to you, all these desktops, when they turn on, they have that sort of da 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 da.
Yeah, yeah.
Occurs to you in time to hit the mute button. Just starts up. And the screen kind of flickers into life to show a remarkably clean and clear desktop.
Not even passworded, no?
Nope.
That's bizarre. Oh, okay. Well, I will put the devices in. I'll have a quick scoot around his laptop to see if I can find anything just quickly, you know.
Yep. Yes, you can open up his whatever the email program for Windows computers are. I don't know. I don't use them, so whatever it is. Yep, you can open that up. It's not or anything like that, and there's a list of his emails for going back weeks and months.
Anything with any interesting headers like, oh look, you know, anything of
Absolutely. As far as you can tell from a quick squint from the name and from the headings, titles, you know, subject lines, absolutely nothing to do with his professional life at all.
Weird. Okay. As I said, I'll bug the office then. But that to me is, I'm gonna start looking around gingerly the office then, looking at files or whatever I can, you know, and put it back gently. You know, I'm not, so it doesn't look like I've been rifling or anything.
Okay. Okay, so the worm is installed in a matter of moments.
Cool.
So Troy, at this point, you come up the stairs, having looked around downstairs. You can see Tarrant is in the room with the computer, the whole room lit up by the glare of the computer screen. Tom is kind of naturally standing in the shadows at the top of the stairs.
I think I'll draw the curtains actually.
They're already closed.
Oh yeah, Grant. Cool.
So Troy, what are you doing when you get to the top of the stairs?
Find Tom or whoever he runs into first.
Tom first, because he's standing more or less at the top of the stairs. Tarrant is in the room beyond him.
He is going to whisper into his ear. The doctor is a front. I think he's a fake. It's just a figurehead.
Okay, I just kind of look at him and I shrug and say nothing in response to the moment.
If you walked into a militant's house, you'd expect to see guns. Well, imagine we went into his house and there's no guns. There's no gun magazines. There's no gun TV, no gun, nothing. That's what we've got with this doctor.
That's a great analogy for a combat nut.
Yeah. I'll just kind of frown and look over at Tarrant and see how he's coming along. And I mean, we're in the middle of the operation. There's no boarding at this point, so
Okay.
I'm going to finish the job anyway.
So
I suppose it's lucky for, if what you're saying is true, I suppose it's lucky for him that we're not abducting him and torturing him at the moment. But yeah.
Okay, so yeah, worm installed. You sort of had a quick look through his emails. I mean, he seems to belong to a golf club and a yachting club. There's an awful lot of emails from various golf club members arranging things, and yachting people sort of talking about various races in the Narragansett Bay and things like that.
But nothing from ZyMedBio or whatever it's called.
Not that you saw, but you were only
Kyrgyzstan.
you were only looking at the kind of the headline, the subject.
Yeah.
What the worm will do is it will pull out contents of the themselves, which you haven't got time to do right now.
Yeah. So I'm just, as I said, has he got filing cabinets? Has he got? I'm just like.
Nope.
No filing cabinets.
Nope.
Well, I turn to. I kind of turn to Ian's character and I kind of go, give him a kind of a body language like, what the fuck? As in, something that there's something not right here. And I'd like to then approach the door of the bedroom and have a listen to see if he's snoring or whatever.
Well,
Well, you'll be stopped by me because I'll grab you by the arm before you get past me and look at you like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I'm just gonna put I'm just listening at the door. I'm not bursting in or anything.
but the trouble is, you don't know which door is his room, and neither does Agent
No.
Tom.
Okay.
I gesture to the 3 closed doors. And I just, "What are you doing? Are you done?
A nod.
Let's get the fuck out of here then."
Okay. So creep down then.
Okay, Troy, is there anything else you wish to do while you were inside the property?
Nothing illegal. No, I'm good.
Nothing more illegal than breaking and entering and data stealing, etc.
Oh, well, okay. Nothing immoral then.
Okay, stealth rolls for the way out, please, gentlemen. 1 each.
Okay. Ooh, close. 69.
Okay.
Not gonna believe this. I rolled a 69 as well. That is so weird. Yeah, Jesus, that was by what? Yeah, weird.
We both have 70s.
I rolled a 31,
Mhm.
and I have a 30.
Okay. So, in what order do you leave? Who's going first?
I will go last. I always leave last.
Okay,
What do
well,
you mean you always leave last? I always leave last.
I'll go first then because
Okay.
You always leave last, except the times when I'm there.
So Tarrant makes it out of the door. Troy and Tom, both of you sort of go down, heading down the stairs. After having a slightly awkward jockeying at the top of the stairs to see who's going to go down first and second. It doesn't really matter who makes it, because as you're both on the stairs, it's Agent Troy who sort of steps on the middle of the step, which of course, Tom, you would never do. You would always use the edges of these stairs. And there's a sort of appreciable creak.
He looks over and says, "Shush."
Yeah, I'll just freeze.
You're already out, Tarrant. You're already
All right,
out.
grand.
It's only Troy and Tom who are in there at this point.
All right. Yeah, I draw a rather large, nasty looking knife. And I look at Troy and gesture over my shoulder for him to get the fuck out of the house. You're going last. Or you're going first. I'm going last.
Troy, do you comply? We don't know because you're muted.
He has stepped away
He
from
says
him.
he's on the phone.
Ah,
Son of a bitch.
Well, might I suggest a 5-minute?
yes, yes, by all means, yes. Comfort break, coffee break, etc.
Cool. Be right back.
Go me too.
Awesome, sounds good. I'll be right back.
Cool.
As per usual, I'll turn off my Fantastic Dimension logo when we return to play.
What I miss? What I miss?
You missed everybody going for a coffee stroke bathroom break.
Sorry, my I said my daughter's 9 months pregnant, so whenever she calls, I got to take the call.
Sure, no, of
definitely.
course.
Yeah, she's actually been in labor off and on since last Friday.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, very slow with the Damn it, I just lost it. She's 2.5 crap, I can't think of the word.
Millimeters?
No, my brain's frazzled.
Overdue?
She's not, no, 2.5 centimeters.
Centimeters.
I don't know. She's not ready.
Dilated was the word you're
Dilated. Doggone it, I couldn't think of dilated. Yeah, she's kind of stuck. She might have to go C-section, so we're waiting.
Stole Neil's thunder there.
So what happened after Agent Tom made the creaking noise?
No, yes, nice try.
Well, we were just, yeah. So we
So basically what happened was he drew a long and very unpleasant looking knife and basically glared at you and pointed down the stairs, indicating that you were to leave first.
Agent Troy also draws a long and unpleasant looking 7-inch bladed surgical knife.
Two of you flopping your dicks out in the middle of a burglary. Good one.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is just my surgical knife. I thought we were showing them off. Like, here's mine, here's yours.
Perhaps.
Just because mine's razor sharp for surgery doesn't mean anything. I'm sure yours is sharp too. Just not as sharp or as big as mine.
What?
We were complaining about the noise your character made.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm definitely going in. I have a 30 stealth, dickhead.
Right, so how are we going to resolve this impasse on the stairs?
We're not. He's going. I have a knife in my hand, and I'm ready to fucking murder the guy if he comes walking out of his bedroom. And I told him I'm going last.
Troy also drew his very large surgical knife and said, "Okay, don't make any more noise." And he'll go down.
Okay. Can you give me an alertness roll, please, Tom?
Yep. That's a 77, which, believe it or not, is a critical success.
Okay.
Wow.
There's from upstairs, from one of the rooms on the right-hand side of the upstairs hallway, you hear the sort of creaking sound of somebody moving in a bed.
I'll try to. Can I tell if that door opens into the hall or into the room? Like, can I see the position? Like, do I see the what do you call it? The hinges or anything?
All glancing. I mean, from where you are, your head is kind of almost level with the floor, as it were, of the upper story on the stairs. So you can kind of look through the banisters and you can see that all the doors open inwards.
Okay, so I will. I guess for the moment, then I will just stand motionless and waiting to see if he actually comes out.
Okay.
And I'll be listening intently also for the sound of like his voice, like if he called 911 or something, or you know.
Okay. You hear the bed creaking again, and then a sort of harsh click, and light comes streaming out from the end door, which would be at the front of the house, overlooking the lawn, the front lawn. And light comes spilling out into the hallway.
The front lawn is that where the driveway is too? And our
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Bed creaks again. No sound of any footsteps on the floor, though. No sign of anybody getting out of bed Just the sound of somebody moving around.
Right, but he turned on his light.
Yep.
And he's moving around, and his window looks out theoretically right over where our van is parked.
Yes. Although all the curtains, you happen to notice that all the curtains in the house were closed, including where you now infer his bedroom to be, which to be on the front right-hand side of the property as you're looking from the.
Well, I only have really two moves here, and that's either like if I run out and we jump in the van and drive off, then he's going to hear us and he's going to know we were in his house anyway. So really, I only have one move here, and that's to wait and see if he actually does anything. Then I just got to kill him.
Okay.
So,
do any of us notice the light spilling out?
The entire mission was a waste of fucking time.
No, you don't, because he's got expensive, heavy lined curtains. So no, you don't even see the light coming out.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
But no. Nobody.
I will sheath my knife though, because I don't really use it that much. I just did it as a kind of a gesture to get Dickhead to move.
Okay, so Troy, Tarrant, and Torri. Well, it's actually Torri. Are you in the back of the van, or did you stay in the front seat?
I was in the back monitoring the equipment to make sure there was no fluctuations or anything that would indicate that we lost control over the signal.
Okay. So
and also to monitor my other equipment to make sure that the worm had connected and then starting to get data.
Yep. Okay. So you've basically got no idea what's going on because
Nope.
you're sat in the back of the windowless van. Okay. Tarrant, you come out onto the street and sort of walk over to the van. Followed a few seconds later by Troy coming out. Now, Troy, Tarrant, what do you do?
Well, if I haven't noticed I'm just would be making my way into the van. That would be
okay. So, you open the van door.
Yeah, carefully and quietly. Yeah.
Stealth check.
Okay. Oh shit. 91. Boom.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay.
So you basically, it's like a moment where you just don't think. Almost, you sort of you're so relieved to be out of the place.
Yeah.
But you don't know that he's awake. You've got no idea. So you literally just open the van door normally. But on this very quiet street at 3 o'clock in the morning, as the dew is starting to gather on the lawns, certainly, Tom, you hear the sound of the van door being opened as if it's a crack of thunder. And you obviously as well, Troy, standing out on the driveway with him.
Well, he's just going to freeze in place and wait it out.
Okay.
I will still move stealthily, but I'm going to move right up to his bedroom door.
Give me a stealth check.
Yep, 42.
Okay. No sound. Light still on. Give me an alertness check, please.
Okay, that is holy shit. I rolled a 00.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Good times. Here we go.
Suddenly there's a very loud creak, which you are sure is the sound of Connerty getting out of bed.
Okay, I'm going to kick the door in, run in, and grab him into a chokehold, and I'm going to choke him out.
Okay. You kick the door in. He's sitting in bed reading a book by the light of the desk lamp with his glasses on, and he's utterly stunned.
Good. I'm going to, he's sitting in bed. Well, fuck, I'll grab a pillow and throw it over his face and just smother him.
Okay, go ahead, make me unarmed check, please.
Unarmed combat. So that's a critical success at 11.
Okay. With a critical success, I'll allow you to judge it well enough to take him to render him unconscious without doing him any permanent damage. So you literally just grab the pillow. He's so stunned, he just doesn't have time to react.
Okay,
he just,
good.
His mouth.
Good. I will then I will throw him over my shoulder once he's fully unconscious, and I'm going to drag him out to the van, carry him out to the van, throw him in there, get in the van, say go.
Okay. So Agent Tom comes down the stairs with this man in his pajamas slung over his shoulder.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay, well.
Should we burn the house?
I mean, we're all wearing gloves and shit, right?
Yep. And all.
As a reason of why he's gone, we could burn the garage.
Christ.
Are you going to bring him back? Or are we going to play with him for a while?
We're gonna interrogate him and we're gonna kill him.
Oh, let's burn his house down then.
Yeah,
I
right.
think it'd be better to just close it up since there's really no evidence. The worm is going to eat itself. Close it up like he just vanished and let them wonder what the fuck happened.
Either
Fair
that,
enough.
either
That'll
that,
work too.
either that, or make it look like a break-in or something. But
You're under pressure of time here, gentlemen. Make a decision.
yeah, we'll just leave because
Okay, we're driving.
Right. Yeah, we can always burn him later. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
While he's in the back, when he's talking to the back of the van, I'm going to stuff a rag in his mouth, tie it off, and bind him hand and foot too.
Okay. Yep. He's completely unconscious.
While we're driving away.
No problem.
make sure he's
Oh, and blindfold
blindfolded.
Yep. No problem. All done. Okay. Where do you go in the van?
Back.
While we're riding, Troy's going to check him over and see if he's actually 68 years old or 78 years old or whatever the hell he is. 68 years old. See if he's close to 68. Look at the quality of his skin around his hands and see if it has classic 68-year-old hands or if it's smooth.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me a medicine check.
All right. A 22.
Critical success.
Oh, yay. That's what I meant. I meant to say, woo, 22, critical success.
So even bumping along in the back of the van, conducting this examination by a rather inadequate sort of interior van light.
Perfectly adequate for a combat medic.
Absolutely. Yes, he entirely appears to be a late middle-aged man. I mean, right down to the fact that, you know, his fingernails are immaculately trimmed and sort of baby soft and all the rest of it. He's clearly never done a hard day's work in his life, this man.
Well, can we drive him out, out of the suburbs and maybe into some kind of, I don't know, just at the edges of the city or something and pull into some kind of, down some like driveway or something, like some kind of driveway or something.
Oh, let's find a warehouse where they got chains and stuff.
Yeah. Sure.
It's not a bad idea.
Well,
it's gonna be quite a drive, but
I'm assuming
Yeah, quiet place is a good place for.
I'm assuming that Tarrant is doing the driving, and since Troy and Torrey are both in the back seat, in the back of the van, unless Agent Tom has any particular vehement views, Tarrant, it's on you to decide where you go.
Yeah, well, I would like to go to some kind of an industrial district and just like drive the car down some hole that nobody seems to use.
Okay.
No mad rush, so I'm kind of
Okay.
don't want to attract any attention.
Okay, so basically what you do is you drive out into the western suburbs, where it's a bit more industrial, sort of light industry, lots of sort of business parks and all the rest of it. And what time is it now? Probably by the time you get there, 3, getting off at 4 o'clock in the morning. So actually, first trace of false dawn by the time you sort of pull into an alleyway between sort of 2 chain link fences and a couple of modern new build sort of warehouses.
Cool.
So,
do you want to drag him into one of these, or do we just want to like?
that sounds like more of a security risk. I said we're going to probably end up leaving him here in the van. Did you see any other vehicles nearby?
4 o'clock in the morning, you might have seen some. You might have passed some. Extremely early commuters. But
No, I mean any parked vehicles or anything like that.
No. The alleyway you're in is essentially just a kind of almost an unpaved cut through, probably very rarely used by vehicles at all anymore.
Before we interrogate,
We're not leaving with this van. So
No.
This van is going to be burned here with him inside.
So before we interrogate him, I don't think he's the doctor. Number one, somebody that spent up to their their entire adulthood in medicine and dedicated to this and didn't get married and didn't have kids and all that, they don't come home at 3:30 in the afternoon. They don't have a house without any
What about all this information here for?
medical paraphernalia. I think he's a front. I don't think he's real. I think he's a fake, someone to distract from the actual person.
Well, he's got no.
Didn't you look into his information? I mean, didn't you confirm any of this stuff? His education at Harvard, his former employment.
All the intel says that he's legit.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying. I mean, okay, granted, maybe he doesn't know shit, but I mean, I don't think he's a fake.
I think he is.
Plastic surgery, this guy, to be like kill the original one, like some kind of. But
that seems like more work than it's worth, though.
Exactly, that's from. Yeah, I mean, he's probably just like the real guy, but just a look. Stay. Maybe he's being blackmailed or something.
Yeah, whatever. Let's torture him. Let's find out.
Yeah, then let's find out.
Well, we'll get to the torture. It's better to let him tell us what he knows first.
Yeah, let's start waking him up.
We'll make it
Yeah,
work.
who's got interrogation tactics? You do, yeah.
I do, yeah. That's all under human, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I can hurt people, so
Excellent. We might need to. Well, we'll definitely probably have to rough him up eventually, but we'll start with persuading.
Okay.
I'll
Is
just
he
be the
awake
silent
yet?
guy that occasionally
Yeah,
hurts.
we'll wake the guy up. We've all got our. Well, I've got my black knife out, so
Fucking balaclavas on, lads.
Mm-hmm. Slap him on, put on the gloves.
Okay. So you just sort of I don't know, Agent Troy, are you carrying with you anything in the way of kind of stimulants, sedatives, that sort of thing?
Oh, most assuredly. He's got his bag.
Okay. So you can sedate him if you would like, to render him less likely to thrash around.
Mm.
No,
Okay.
it's good.
I mean,
I don't think a 68-year-old man's going to have it.
Yeah,
And
he's
he-
bound hand and foot, blindfolded, and I presume that you.
There's 4 of us, and if you sedate him, he might not feel the pain. So.
Right.
All right.
There's
I was
that.
thinking
Yeah,
something
any sodium
more.
pentothal in there.
I would say that would be a lucky thing.
What's that? Sodium
I didn't particularly load it with sodium pentothal, but it probably could have. I'll let the GM roll the luck roll then.
Well, it's a Delta Green mission. Go ahead and roll me a luck roll.
All right, stand by. I'm going to roll high and a 91. So
Yep.
I'll take it.
Okay, sure. Yes.
Nice.
So,
And I will also offer my knife, my surgical knife, between his fingernail and his finger, and tell him if he doesn't answer, he's going to push it through.
Hold him off on that.
okay. So, who was it? I think it was you, Tori, who was going to wake him up. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So you sort of take the gag out of his mouth and sort of tap him on the cheek, with the flat of your hand for sort of 10 or 15 seconds before he suddenly kind of does almost like a loud snore. And immediately you see his whole body sort of tense up and he sort of starts to thrash around.
Mr. Connor,
Did you tie his hand in front of him or behind him?
they're behind him.
And is he laying down on his side or something?
Yes.
Okay. And he sort of immediately starts panicking and thrashing around, his legs kind of moving up and down, and he's trying to roll. And all he succeeds in doing is rolling onto his face. So he's kind of pushed.
Grab his ear and twist it and press his head into the ground and say, Mr. Connedy, I suggest you stop whatever it is you think you're doing right now.
What do you want? What do you want from me?
I'll be asking the questions.
Okay.
Tell me about your work.
My what?
I believe I spoke English.
My what do you care? I've got money, if that's what you want.
I don't need your money. I need your brain. Now start using it. Tell me what it is you do.
What? I work at ZyMedBio out at Bedford.
And my employers are extremely interested in the work that you're performing at ZyMed. There's lots of money to be made.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Tell me about your latest clinical trials.
What?
Your latest clinical trials. And twist his ear again.
Yes. Zylactus, stage 2. Yes. What about them?
There's some odd numbers along that.
I don't know. I didn't deal with any of that. That was all done in Mumbai.
In Mumbai, you said.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what is it you do at the facility here?
We provide. We select applicants for the trial, and we give them the treatment regime.
I see. I'm kind of glance at everyone else. Give him a little shrugging up.
Can I see if he's lying with my or monitor him, I should say, with my human sig?
Yes. Go for it. Everybody in the room everybody in the van can make a human and see what they think.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a success.
Everybody in the van can roll a human. Not everybody in the van can make a human, unfortunately.
Success, 55.
Excuse me.
So everybody who succeeds is thoroughly convinced he's telling the truth so far. He hasn't lied yet.
Mm-hmm. I'll just keep monitoring just to see his body language and etc.
I, however, failed my roll, so I will draw and cock my pistol
Yes.
and say, I think he's lying.
Okay.
You may be right.
He's blindfolded, so he doesn't see the gun and probably doesn't know what the sound of a gun being cocked sounds like. So he's not that threatened by it. But yes,
I'll put it right up against the side of his temple.
he instinctively flinches away from it. Oh, what's that?
Smile and look at Agent Tom and nod at the pistol. Like, why don't you tell him what it is?
I'm holding a gun to your head, Mr. Carnegie.
Okay. There's a strong smell of urine.
Oh fuck!
That's okay. We're burning the van anyway.
Yeah, I just step out of
Yes.
it.
I'm not bothered. Oh my!
Probably quite used to it.
Can you tell me about the Anak brothers?
Yeah, what about them?
Have you met them?
Of course I've met them.
And where are they now?
Jefferson is I think in Washington. Ulysses is probably in India. I don't know. I don't know their everyday movements.
For someone who is listed as the chairman of the board of directors for ZyMed, you sure don't know a lot, do you? Boy, you're kind of worthless, aren't you?
I press the gun harder.
I'm really hoping for more.
Jesus, no. Look, I just took the job. It's a big pay rise, and I'm not getting any younger. I'm too old to do cutting edge research anymore, and these guys offered me a fortune.
What's going on?
Why would they do that?
I guess they thought that, my name. Oh Jesus! Please stop that! And he kind of flinches away from the barrel of the gun again.
I'll pull it back a little bit easier.
I'm reasonably well known in the field. I used to be good. I used to do good work. I don't know. I'm just the name above the store. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying they're willing to pay you more than you're worth for no reason other than you used to be good at work? Use your head. What are you getting paid for?
Look, okay, I'm getting paid to schmooze the FDA. I'm getting paid to schmooze the National Academy of Sciences. Yes, of course, but that's the job when you're my age.
Disappointing. Okay. Out of character. I'm not sure what else to ask at this moment. It's been a long time since I played Spycraft. Can I?
It's looking pretty bad for you, Doctor. You're probably going to end up burning up alive as this van burns up.
Jesus Christ! I don't know anything. I'm telling you, I don't know anything.
You go to work every day being overpaid and have no real purpose, and you think it's just because they're charitable? If you don't give us something good, you're going to die badly.
Tell us about Ortega.
Good call.
Mm.
Good one.
Okay, whichever of you who is interacting with him, you can make me a persuade check with plus 40.
What is this persuade? Oh, I have a 40.
Plus 40 is 80.
Persuade.
Rolled a 34.
Okay.
Oh, dude, I have a killer persuade. I have an automatic success.
Cool.
I have a 60 persuade, and if you're giving me 40, I have 100.
You can still roll a 00, which would still be a fail. But,
okay. All right. I'm sorry.
But yeah, you have like a 1 in 100 chance of failure.
All right. I'm rolling. 44.
Okay, so
Critical success.
Critical success, I meant. 44. Critical success. Sorry.
So what was your question?
I got to get used to that.
What was your question?
I was posing to him to use his head that we know that he's being overpaid for no particular reason, and he needs to give us something good or he's going to die poorly.
Okay, and this and at the same time, I think Agent Tom brought up Ortega's name, right?
That's correct. I did, but I rolled a 99. So,
but I'm using the fact that you said it in the context of the rest of the conversation.
good.
Fair enough.
Good.
And I made a success in my roll as well.
Yep. So basically, under the sort of this constant barrage, he just sort of his whole body appears to just sort of slump, and his head kind of goes down hits the corrugated metal of the bottom of the van with a soft thump. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't want to know. All of them.
Who does know?
Beatrice, Tom, I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Who does know? I'm gonna just like jab him with the old Fairburn Sykes, you know.
Look, ZyMedBio is a weird place, okay? There are people who are in and there are people who are not in. All I'm telling you is that I'm one of the ones who's not in, okay? I don't know what they're doing.
Who is in?
Jefferson and Ulysses, obviously, but they're almost never there. They seem to just pop in from 1 month to the next to check what's going on.
He puts his finger on his lips and says, shush, 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 shush. You give us a name of somebody we can put our hands on or you're going to die.
I don't know. I don't know who knows what.
One.
All right, go ahead. Ask Beatrice. Go ahead. Ask Beatrice.
Two.
It's Beatrice April. Dr. Beatrice April. She's the clinical director. Nothing goes on there medically that she doesn't know about. All right.
And where do we find her? Three.
I don't know where she lives.
You mentioned another name. Who is Tom?
Tom? He's Beatrice's deputy. He's the guy who does most of the Zylactus treatments.
And what's Tom's last name? Tom's pretty common. And I look over at Agent Tom and give him a wink.
Dr. Thomas Picknett.
Picknett. Interesting. Very good. See, I knew you were worth something. And I shake my head and put my finger across my neck.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, will you let me go now? I haven't seen any of you. I don't know who you are. I can't rat you out. Let me go, please.
Does he have a... Oh, shit. And of course he doesn't. He's in his pajamas. Shit.
Here, hold on. Let's
No,
step
I
out.
was thinking-
I'm giving him the signal to step outside.
Okay.
When we're far enough away, I'm going to ask. I said, I don't know what you nerds were doing. Did you bug the place?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Let's set the van on fire. It'll draw the police. They'll find him. naked with a stick up his ass or something. And then he's eventually going to go home. And when he goes home, he might get on his computer. He might call people. He might talk to them. Or someone else might show up and say something. Maybe we can get some more information out of that.
I'm not comfortable with that because
That's a loose end.
A lot of questions.
Which part are you not comfortable with? The stick? It doesn't have to be a stick.
No, it's the fact that he was abducted by multiple people who asked him all kinds of crazy questions and threatened his life if he didn't speak. He's going to tell somebody about that, and that's exposure we don't need.
We'll just tell him that that we'll come back and get him if he says anything. He's scared.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I go back in the van, and I slit his throat.
Okay.
Loose ends.
He's tied up and helpless.
Grab my equipment, pack it up.
Let me just 1 second. I just want to check a rule.
I am adapted to violence.
That's exactly what I was checking about what happens in the case of a cold-blooded murder when you're adapted to violence. Whether it's a sand check. Normally it would be.
In my opinion, Agent Troy sealed this guy's death warrant when he made the creak on the stairs.
Right? That stairs noise was pretty bad.
Coupled with the 00, which convinced you wrongly that he was getting out of bed.
Nobody knows about that but me.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think, John, your plan was kind of worth a go, actually, but a bit late now.
While they're doing all this, Troy's immediately going to jump over to the doctor and try to staunch the bleeding. It's just practice, you understand. You don't get many opportunities like this, and he's going to try to stop the bleeding.
What are you doing? I won't let him.
Okay, so sorry, I need to. Okay, here we go. Blah 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 blah. So you've already done that. Yeah, you see, I think what it is that once you've adapted to violence, you've suffered the loss for being adapted to it. That's taken into account when you take the package. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I lost 3 points of charisma. I lost points off my bonds.
Yeah. So I don't think it allows you to just ignore the fact that you're going to slit the throat bound guy.
That's fine.
So,
do you want me to make a sanity check?
Yep.
No worries. I rolled a 74, which is a success.
Success. Astonishingly, you only lose 1.
Okay. I will take 1 point of loss.
Okay.
Down to 74.
All right. And you calmly step into the back of the van. Do you close the doors afterwards, or do you leave them open?
No, I had left them open.
Okay.
But then, Troy, you said you're going to come in and try to stop the bleeding?
Just for practice, you understand. Just for practice. What if one of you get your throat slit? You want me to help you? It's just practice.
Okay.
No, I won't let him. I will physically throw him out of the van.
Okay, so this guy is under extreme stress. His blood pressure is through the roof, and drawing a sharpened combat knife across his carotid artery, the spray hits the opposite wall of the van, and you.
All right, fine.
And it just sort of keeps gushing out of him with every heartbeat. Spray.
Yep. Hopefully everybody got their stuff out of the van because I'm setting it on fire.
Yep, I'm all ready.
Let me. It's
Okay.
It's just for practice, you understand. And he's going to set it on fire.
Okay. Can actually everybody else, you can make me a sand check, please, for witnessing this.
So,
That is a failure.
okay.
That's a fail.
I
Anybody
failed.
who fails? Yep. Okay. 1d4, please.
I got a 60. I got to see what my sanity is.
I failed that as well.
Yep. D4 sand loss, please.
I have a 68 and I rolled a 60.
Okay, so you pass, so no loss.
I lost 2.
Find my Bloody D4.
How'd you end up with a 68 out of curiosity? Did you lose sanity earlier?
Yes, I had an 85, but I lost sanity because of my condition.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sanity is based off power, right?
What's that?
Yes, but it can change quite radically depending on what damage veteran package you pick.
Yeah. He
His-
picked one that made him lose it by his power, basically.
Yeah, his Troy's power is off the charts, dude. It's really high.
Yeah.
Like, you start off with really high.
Oh, that's right. I had to reduce it by 5. That's why mine is lower than I thought it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. So those of you who lost sanity for that, could you please tick off one of your adapted to violence boxes, please?
Oh.
But not if you passed. It only counts. You only tick off a box if you lose sanity, but don't go past.
Doesn't matter. Mine are all ticked anyway.
Yeah.
Mine are as well.
You're literally ticked off.
So if you fail a sanity check but don't go to your breaking point,
Don't. Yeah. So you don't suffer temporary insanity, i.e., a loss of 5 in one hit, or go past your breaking point.
Okay.
Then you tick off the relevant thing.
Interesting.
Violence or helplessness.
Yep.
So adapted to violence, is it? So just one. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And
Welcome to my world.
The 4 of you sort of stand around the back of the van in the as dawn breaks over Western Boston's industrial zone, as this guy's feet rhythmically on the corrugated metal floor of the van, and the blood starts running out of the van over the back bumper and onto the ground around your feet.
I think we could have used him.
Probably, but
Too late now. Let's get the fuck out of here.
too much exposure. I hurl my baklava and my gloves into the van so they can burn with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Your baklava, you have pastries?
Yep. And then I also throw my face mask in there too. I already ate half of it. There's just too much, too sweet.
Okay.
You ate half your face mask?
That's
Like glove.
classic.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I
Must
guess
be good.
I'll follow suit too. And let's get the fuck out of here.
So do you, for example, burn the drone, etc., or do you wander around the streets with it at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Well,
No, this was a small one. It's not a big one. That's why this one from the mall. This is one from the mall. It's little,
Sure.
just
All
big
right.
enough to carry a GoPro.
Okay, no problem. All right.
yeah. I mean, we're only gonna walk far enough until we can steal another vehicle, basically. I think so.
Right.
Okay. So you sort of wander out onto the streets. It's a sort of a deserted road. That you can hear the sort of beep 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 of a garbage truck somewhere in the vicinity. But other than that, silent, deserted streets. And yes, you stumble on a vehicle just sort of parked in the way. I'm not going to make you roll for stealing it, because between you, I'm sure you can. And where are you going to drive to? Back to the motel?
I think we should go somewhere else and ditch this car before we head back to the hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like IHOP.
Right.
Okay. On the second car that you steal, I presume you sort of drive into an underground parking lot or something, so you can just take your pick and dump the other one somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And as you emerge from that, there's a sort of pinging from Agent Torrey's computer.
Excellent.
At least there would be if I could actually get the fucking thing to work.
I gotta go in a little over 20 minutes, Neil. Just
no
time check for you.
I'm aware.
No worries.
Let me just say then, this has been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah.
Are you two timing us, Ian?
I am.
Dirty bastard.
You better be wearing a condom.
Or a balaclava.
You bareback bastard.
Hang on, I'm just trying to call this document up and put it on the chat.
Cool.
For some reason, it's not doing it. Why is it not doing it? That's annoying. For some reason, I don't know why. It's not actually booting it up. Come on. There we go. There we go. Got it. Cool. There we go. So as you're making your second car change and driving away, there's a ping from, as I say, from Agent Torrey's laptop or phone, whichever he's got connected to the worm, running itself on Dr. Connerty's computer. Now this is the first mention of ZyMedBio anywhere on Connerty's emails.
I see. And this was the 3rd of June, and it's what, the 6th right now?
Correct.
So 3 days ago. Soiree in a few days. I want to find out who this Chuck guy is.
It's Charles Ogle.
Okay.
Charles Ogle? Oh, yeah. Charles Ogle 472. I didn't see the Ogle on there for some reason.
What kind of nerd are you?
A hot one. I'm too pretty to be smart like that. Actually, I'm pretty smart too, but what are you going to do?
Okay. Now, are you going to do this on the move, or because you've got a sort of slightly sketchy connection, obviously, when you're?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to do it here. I want to have a good connection for this.
Yeah, we'll do it at IHOP. They got a really good Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Well, hold on now. Like, who got sprayed with blood? We're not going into IHOP with bloody clothing.
Probably only you, Tom.
Me?
Yep.
Son of a bitch. This is your fault too, Troy.
Did
You
you bring
hadn't walked in. Huh?
Did you bring a change of clothes with you?
No. Well, I don't think so. If I did,
You'll have one in your go bag back at the motel for sure.
Yeah. So go back. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I went at the motel. I just didn't think we went back to the motel. But okay, we'll go back to the motel.
So he's wearing dark clothes, though, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We're going back to the motel, though.
Yeah. Well, he could have ditched the shirt in the van that he had on, and I could have tossed him my sweatshirt.
I think he was covered in blood. It wasn't just like
Yeah, it was.
Well, if he's got dark clothes, it'll be less likely to be seen in the pants.
Yeah, it was an arterial spray that basically hit him in the chest and the face as he stood over.
The face too. Yeah. Okay, we'll walk on the inside then.
See, I imagine I was going to do it really cleanly and stuff. I had it all planned out, but then when Troy came in and tried to stop the bleeding, that's when things got fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I'm an operator, obviously I would know how not to.
Yeah, I mean,
spray it all over
actually,
myself.
what you probably actually, to be fair, thinking about that, what you would have done is you would have done it from behind.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
but then Troy fucked me up.
Yeah.
right.
For the second time in a few hours.
You are certainly very potentially exposed.
One of these stolen cars is dropping me off at the motel so I can go in and get cleaned up.
Okay.
And don't park the stolen car at the motel, obviously. You know that. I'm sure, Turn.
Where are you headed to? Where are you going to meet up again after?
And then we're going to IHOP for breakfast, apparently.
Okay.
So we can decompress and figure out what our next step is going to be based on the events of the first 24 hours.
Oh yes, that reminds me. You're all sleepless, aren't you?
We are. Yeah, we're all going to need to get some sleep pretty soon.
Yeah. This game punishes sleeplessness.
Well, let's retcon it a bit. If we knew we were going to be going out at 2:00 in the morning, being professional operators, we would have at least catnapped.
I'll give it to you, but I reserve the right to impose it later during the day if you don't find some more time to get some sleep later on.
Fair enough.
Works for me.
Right.
Yeah, a catnap is not a night's sleep. So
no.
Okay, so I think we'll call it there before we get into the who and the why of Chuck Ogle.
Yep, sounds good.
Sounds good.
It's really cool, Neil.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Now,
thanks.
before you turn off the live at the end here, Troy's not being a douche because I wanted to be a chuckle fuck. He's broken.
Okay,
that's part of the character. So it's just in his nature to do this. So
it's all good. It's all good, man. Maybe next session he can be physically broken as well.
That's okay because he has all kinds of lube with him, so he's prepared.
I give a quick shout out to Charles Cole and Elias Miller who were in the chat talking to us. Thanks for watching, guys.
Woo-hoo.
And I'll end the broadcast there, and we'll pick this back up again in 2 weeks' time.
All right, good.
All right, thank you.
All right. Good night.
And I'll